Where it just jettisoned.
Hey there, this is the Small Stuff Podcast. My name is Kyle Roebuck. This is the intro. Let's start the show. It's a 30-second intro. It's not that long. There are some podcasts that have 2-minute intros. It's ridiculous. You don't have to do all that. So, historic episode. I'm probably going to have to adjust that angle now that I'm looking at it. I'm kind of tall.
Sorry, it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I guess.
You told
Anyway.
me lower. So.
No. It's me. My head's getting cut off.
Just sink the chair.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't think of that. Yeah, that helps.
There, you're good.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of tweaking on this one, maybe. We might have just fixed it. I don't know.
And now Josh looks
But-
like he's normal size. It's pretty great.
Yeah. Even though he's not, really. Yeah, so we got, if you guys didn't notice, we got 4 people. We got 5, really. Shelby's in the corner. Yeah, this is really cool.
Thank you.
And frustrating and a little anxiety inducing.
What, that there's 4 of us?
There's 4 of you, and you're like 2 separate friend groups, you know, when you do the thing where you like combine friend groups, and you're like,
really
It's
two
not-
separate.
it's not too-
We're all, yeah.
We know each other.
Yeah.
oh, I understand you know each other, but like, I feel like that we have a specific relationship, and we have a
Yeah.
specific relationship.
And
It's
we
like
have a specific
Specific
relationship.
relationship.
Yeah.
So, like,
I didn't say that you didn't. I said it was stressful for me. I didn't say it wasn't stressful for you.
You know
Are
that
going?
one friend
You
at
got
the
it?
party that just makes everything even more awkward than it was? Kyle's being that guy right now.
Yeah, that's okay. What's up?
I feel like the sound of me's coming through not clear. Am I clear to
You
y'all?
sound beautiful.
You sound
sound fine.
wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can.
No,
Like a
I'm good.
sweet
Yeah.
summer child.
Have you ever thought about doing a podcast?
All the time.
Yeah. Do you think you're not coming through clear?
Y'all 3 are coming through very clear. I'm coming through with an echo and it's warm. It's a good deep tone, but it's like stretched out. I'm hearing a echo effect, like I'm in a room that's not made like a studio.
I remember my
wonder if your
first
headphones-
beer.
Here, real
so-
quick. Let's swap headphones. And I guess mics.
Shit.
Hello? Oh, yeah, that's weird. You don't sound like that to us.
Yeah, you sound perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the mic is...
I have no
No?
idea.
It must be the headphones then.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that adapter that I that I plugged in. I don't know how old that thing is. It's probably like I have a bunch of those from like my dad's old like radios and shit.
Oh, there's the problem.
They're just like
There's the
laying
problem.
around.
We found it.
I usually have one in my pocket. What is it? A quarter to half, or
A 3.5 millimeter to a...
yeah, the big one.
Yeah.
the big plug-in thingy.
The
for
guitar
audio.
one.
I should I should know what it's called, but I don't.
I don't care what I sound like to
3.5.
myself. I just didn't want to get 45 minutes into this and be like, hey, guys.
No, I mean you're coming through. You're coming through clear, and as far as I can tell, you know, your level looks fine.
All right, well.
Yeah.
Well, there's the first reel for next week.
Well, oh yeah, just the entire
microphone confusion.
complete botched intro.
I sound like shit. Thought this was a professional studio.
Jesus.
So guys,
I know my complaints every video. It's crazy.
Yeah, sure. I quit.
All right, well.
So,
Do I still have to stay?
We have boy, if you shut the fuck up. We got Jake the Viking, Jake Franklin, whatever you want to call him, William, not Jake Franklin.
Yeah, please not Bill.
Yeah, call him Billy, Billy the Viking. And
Billy the Kid Viking.
yeah,
I like that. Can we roll
and
that?
you guys know Bryton and Josh. They've been on a lot.
You owe me.
So we got a Spiderman trailer.
It's my 5th time. Thanks.
Yeah,
Wow, you're experienced.
I've had Josh a lot.
This is only my second.
I've sounded
Josh
good in the
really
past.
likes Josh.
Josh really likes
Oh,
Josh.
Kyle
really likes
Josh
Josh.
does really like Josh.
Kyle really likes having
Noted.
Josh on.
Me
Okay.
and Josh can just bullshit. Not that we couldn't with you guys, but he's usually more available.
I'm ready to
I
do
bullshit
this.
all the
Are y'all
time.
making this sound sexual on purpose?
No,
No,
All of it sounds sexual.
Good.
no. I made one joke, but
but that was like off
I rolled with it.
since
Yeah.
we've been recording.
Yeah.
Have you made a joke?
yeah,
Oh, shit.
you guys were all talking. So no. I said I've had Josh many times. Yeah, and then I kind of did like a And then I was like, okay. Fuck me, I guess.
If it works, it works.
Yeah. All right, so
Spider-Man.
is Willem Dafoe in this movie?
Yes.
Oh, for damn sure.
For sure?
You could
For
hear
sure.
you could hear
You
his
hear
goblin
him,
laugh.
but do you think he's going to show up?
Yes.
Or do
You
you
mean
think it's
his
just going to be
face?
pumpkin bomb's going to go up and then portal's going to close and then the pumpkin bomb blows up?
Oh, you're thinking it's just going to be a pumpkin bomb?
I'm thinking it's going to be like a little cameo because like I feel like it's easier to de-age Alfred Molina than it is to de-age Willem Dafoe, who has looked like an aged leather couch.
Have
since
you,
'73.
did you
I
not
actually
see
agree.
Rogue One?
Yeah,
I disagree
but
completely.
nobody else
about
is as
Disney.
wrinkly as him.
But no, what? Dude, it's Disney. They're going to be able to go on their computer, generate whatever they want on his face.
They're
Like,
literally going to copy and paste
Literally.
2002 Willem Dafoe.
There's special.
Do you remember what they did with Princess Leia
Yeah.
in the movie? Like,
I
she
know what
looked,
you're
I was
talking
like,
about.
oh my god.
Yeah,
I think they
okay,
could do
okay,
that
okay,
easily.
okay.
Especially they're bringing his Doc Ock. Is that his name? Doc
Yeah,
Ock.
yeah.
And-
They're bringing him back, and they showed him like for a long time. I think they're gonna like they're saving what's his face for like a big
I think they're saving,
reveal.
Yeah, I think they're saving everything. Plus, we've only had a hint at 5, and the whole key thing is the Sinister Six. So we've only even gotten hints of 5. Only 1 showed their face. So we've got hints of 4 that we haven't seen.
Did you hear?
I don't think
we
they would
kind
screw
of
themselves
see
over.
we kind of see the lizard.
ish.
Yeah, you do.
We see the outline of the lizard as he like bangs on like a force field type thing, which seems more like a type of prison cell.
I can't see enough detail to say
Yeah.
100%, but yeah.
But you hear his growl, like
Yeah,
you hear
yeah,
the
yeah.
"Rrrr."
Somebody's tried to say that they saw Venom. Did you hear that?
That's the same people that are.
It's the one where it
they're
has like the
arguing.
little like warp behind the taxi car or whatever. There's like a quick like warp thing, and they're saying if you pause it in the right spot, it kind of resembles Venom there. They're hiding something. They're hiding a big like bang.
I think it's
But my thing,
Willem Dafoe.
weren't they saying they were not gonna do a trailer?
Yeah,
Wasn't
but
that
then
the thing like a month ago?
Yeah, I think so.
That started in like spring.
Mm-hmm.
Them like just saying that it's. to
We're gonna
build
try
it up.
something new. We're not gonna drop a trailer. But
Yeah,
all
I
of a
thought
sudden,
Feige- to build
Feige
it
like
up.
confirmed it.
yeah, I thought they had like fully confirmed they weren't gonna do a trailer. But then didn't what yesterday?
Or
They
is
Yeah,
said
he
because
before?
he just still
Marvel's
marketing.
never lied about anything
I could be
ever.
wrong, but I didn't think they were saying that they weren't going to release a trailer. I thought they were saying, hey, there's not going to be a trailer released for this, like this upcoming event, this thing. Like, I didn't think they were saying now through December. there's not
I
gonna
completely
Because
took it as
people-
like no trailer.
Because people already kind of knew that Sony was going to drop the trailer yesterday because that was like Sony's big release day.
Wasn't there
so-
also a leak right
Yeah.
before the
literally
trailer dropped?
the night before it dropped, and I watched it, and it was horrible. It was horrible resolution.
I refuse
I never,
to watch
I never
it.
saw the leak. I looked
Yeah.
for it for a second, and then I did the same thing. I was like, they said there wasn't gonna be a trailer, so I'm not gonna watch this. Maybe they put one together just in case, and I figured
See,
maybe
that's-
that got leaked, and so I was like, I'm not gonna watch it because I'm not supposed to, and I don't want to ruin the movie because I had fucking Endgame ruined for me by some troll in Instagram comments.
I had in-game rule for me from Twitch stream. Kid came in. Iron Man dies.
Blocked.
It's like
what's it
sick.
called? Banned? What is it?
Blocked, banned.
I don't know what it is on
reported,
Twitch.
Deleted, killed. What?
I said I don't know what it is on Twitch.
But I was fully expecting them not to have a trailer, and I feel like I like the idea that they had one in their back pocket in case it did, in case something did get leaked, and they were able to be like, oh well, it got leaked. Here you go, you know. But it looks sick. It looked really good. I don't know the full story on it, but it looks. I'm excited to see if they have all the original Spider-Man in it.
So I refused to watch the trailer because he messaged me and was like, hey, it's out, but it's really low quality. I'm like, well, then I'm not going to watch it because if I'm going to watch a trailer, it needs to be legit, straightforward, what I'm supposed to see, 4K, blah, 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 blah.
I watched it for the
After
sake
the
of
fact.
one of us having watched it.
After the fact, I went and checked it out, and some of it's like post-production. Like, it hadn't been rendered.
It hadn't
It
even
was-
been edited yet.
No.
Yeah.
Some of it wasn't even live footage. It was the simulated computer graphics of what the actors should do.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like Spider-Man on the train, it was not live action. It was a flat cartoon-looking thing of a simulation of it was like a cartoon structured character, still unprocessed, just demonstrating, which is how they film now.
Interesting on the leak though.
They make MCU since. Oh man! What
But I'm
movie
saying
was
that was the leak. I'm like that's
probably-
just like, hey, we're filming the movie. It's like, yeah, we all know that.
Well, like 2/3 of it was live footage, but then
Okay.
there was action scenes that were not.
But you know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
we all know you're filming a movie. Okay, what?
It was probably the storyboard basically for the trailer where they were like, here are the clips. this is what we all want, and it was more somebody took this as they're like filling in these slots because they're like, this is our storyboard for what we're gonna play out.
Yeah.
So instead of going ahead and like going through the process of going through the movie, clipping these, doing that, and putting it together, they make that storyboard for the trailer because they're like, these are the scenes we want. Because normally there's like a company that goes through and basically types up every scene in the movie and then pulls like what's the best scenes, and then they make a like quote unquote story.
there's actually-
All the trailers are definitely like methodically put together to leave you hanging
yeah,
and throwing you off. Remember Avengers Infinity War when they showed everybody running?
And Hulk.
Hulk with all of them were there, and you get there and it's like half the people aren't here. Oh, because they're gone.
Thor's eye in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
They make it appear as if he has both his eyes, but
This isn't a trailer,
Talking
but
about
the movie poster for Endgame also, Thor was like normal
Yeah.
with an eye,
Yep.
ripped, not sans beer gut.
Everything's there for a reason. And I think that's why. Like everything you saw in the trailer for Spider-Man was there for a reason.
and I did
So
actually.
it's like-
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I proposed this literally like 2 hours ago. What if the Willem Dafoe laugh is a throw off?
It could be.
Because
It
it literally, it's the
I think
same
they-
soundbite. It's a soundbite that you could literally have taken from the Sam Raimi
100%.
Sam
100%.
Raimi
But
trilogy.
they know, I feel like they know well enough that they're going to piss off so many people if they tease big things that we want and don't give it to us. It's we love the fact that they tease things and then they go a different direction and we see the real direction. We're like, oh shit, that's even better. Like that's part of the fandom that we love about it. If they tease Tobey Maguire and he's in it for 2 seconds, we're gonna be pissed at that. They know
question-
better than to tease something that's not gonna come to fruition.
Yeah, but do you think they actually care? Because look what all happened with Star Wars and everything. I mean, you had so many like fans outcrying. They're just like, oh, whatever, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing.
At what part? Like
Like-
what did they tease and then?
Well, not
and
teasing,
then-
but I'm saying like, yeah, it's like going in the same direction where like, hey, they did something and then the fans didn't like it, but instead of changing it, they just kept doing
He's
it.
saying Disney doesn't give a
But
fuck.
see-
Yeah, I'm basically saying Disney doesn't care. They're gonna make their
Kevin
money.
Feige does.
Yeah,
But who's behind them? Disney.
They give him free will.
I'm gonna say Kevin Feige literally is in control of everything.
Yeah.
Disney doesn't fuck with Kevin Feige.
the one above all.
Because we could even look at Warner Brothers right now with the whole thing going on with Aquaman.
That's different.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
they
I'm
don't
saying-
know what the fuck they're doing.
But no, they still say we don't give a fuck. We're keeping Amber Heard,
Yeah.
and it's just like no one's gonna watch the movie.
yeah,
Like I want to watch it for what's his name?
Jason.
Momoa. I know.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy, long hair, beautiful. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, him.
It's okay. Literally, the last time we did this, like 2 weeks ago, I forgot his name too. I was
Yeah.
like, man, what's that dude? The guy
College
that's always
Rogo.
like,
Yeah, that
the
guy.
Namor.
Like I want to watch it for him, but I'm just like, I don't want to do anything with Amber Heard because I like feel so bad for Johnny Depp because he's just getting the short end of the stick right now.
Yeah,
Even though he's winning he's winning his cases, but he's still like Hollywood's just shunned him.
And see, I do like what the Aquaman director came out and said, where he's like, we're not going to change things because of fans. I get that. Like the whole Snyder Cut push basically showed that if enough people cry and bitch about something, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's how things should be.
Oh, we found that
A
out with
movie-
Sorry to cut you off. We found that out. What was the movie with the little blue guy, real fast?
Sonic.
Sonic.
The
Yeah.
Hedgehog.
That would.
Remember that trailer
That-
dropped and everybody's just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
They
Well,
went back like, we're just going to refilm
there-
half the movie.
That's a great
There
example
is
of
a
it going
difference
right.
though, because they just bullied that Sonic until the makers of Sonic was like, we need to change this. They didn't say, y'all need to change this. Everybody was just like, this Sonic movie's gonna suck. And they were like, fuck,
We
probably
got to
should-
change it.
We probably should change
we're
this.
going to go change this real quick.
There's a difference between bitching and crying about you to change a movie and then bullying a movie to the point of wanting to change it. But like the whole Amber Heard thing is fucked up. And that's
Oh,
one of those
yeah.
things where they probably should have been like, like we shouldn't listen to fans, but this is a situation where this is more of like a bigger problem than just the fans being like, Amber Heard shouldn't be in it. Amber Heard just shouldn't be in it.
Yeah.
Because she's a fucked up individual.
Yeah.
And she literally does not need to be playing the part regardless. She doesn't own that role. It's not like
Yeah, she was
Robert
definitely the worst part of
yeah, it's not like
Aquaman.
Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Like
Yeah.
he didn't go out and do something where like, oh man, how do you replace Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man? It's Amber fucking Heard
She was-
in a
she
movie
was-
that nobody even really liked, and she was the worst part of a
She
movie
was
that nobody really
worse than Jason Momoa. I don't like his acting. Like he's the same character in everything.
He's good
You know
in
what I
like
mean?
in like certain roles. I feel like.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
the
perfect in
one
Game
the
of
ones
Thrones.
that are for him.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah.
He's like it's
He's
like Seth
one-dimensional.
Rogen is the
Yeah.
same character in every movie except for the interview. He was kind of different there.
He's one dimensional, but he owns that dimension. Like,
His
he's really
it's
good.
like
Seth does.
okay, it's essentially
Yeah.
like The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock
Yeah.
in every movie is the
Yeah.
same thing every time you get it, no matter what the storyline is. Like you look at
Except the rundown.
no, what was the movie with the Skyscraper? Supposed to be this dad with a leg missing, and he's like supposed to be serious. I feel like that's the same character we got in Jungle Cruise.
I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't seen it
Jungle
either.
Cruise, hey,
Yeah.
I gave it 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
That was actually a really good movie, well put together. Shelby and I watched it. It was like, it was finally a live action Disney movie, but since Beauty and the Beast that I thoroughly enjoyed. Lion King didn't care for. It just sounded like I was at a concert for J-Lo and whatever the dude's name was.
Did you not like Cruella?
He didn't see Cruella.
I didn't see Cruella because I had no interest in it because it's
And
not.
I know you
was so
didn't because
good.
you didn't immediately go yes.
Yeah. Well, no,
It's
I
so
did.
good.
I had no interest in Cruella because it's not the original story. It's a completely different.
So good.
But anyway, I
It's
haven't
a
seen
prequel.
that.
It's a prequel.
Yeah.
It's
But there's
so
no
good.
original story that tells
Aladdin.
Cruella's story.
Aladdin was terrible.
I think
It felt like the production quality was like half put. Are you bad?
I loved. Hold on. I loved Will Smith as the genie.
I felt.
He owned that shit. He didn't try to be Robin Williams.
Yeah,
'cause
I
he
just
knew
still
that was
feel-
a dumb idea.
I just still feel like he had his hands tied behind his back. I still feel like there was something there he could have put out, and it was almost as if like he was being pressured to not be like Robin Williams, where Robin Williams goes out there and goes and gives it your all. I feel like that was not a full out Will Smith.
I don't know.
I haven't seen it.
I feel like it could have been better,
It's
but
really
like
good.
some of the camera shots and stuff when he was like running through, I was like, I don't know, I just didn't care.
I didn't
for
pay
it.
that much attention to it.
I didn't pay that much attention to like the camera shots and stuff. I thought the acting delivered. I loved the casting. The songs were really good. I like some of the updates to new songs that they did to try to make this not the original Aladdin, because why the fuck am I going to want to watch a live action version of what I've already can see animated? I want to see obviously
An
I'm
update.
not I don't want it to be like, all right, we're just going to pull the fucking genie from the movie. Like, no. Genie need to be in the
Yeah.
but like to an extent you need to change up a little bit so you're not just stagnant.
So you're not Mulan.
Beauty and the Beast. did the same
That's what
thing.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So Aladdin was at least like kept like all of its like cores that what it made it what it was. Mulan, they were just like, nah, fuck it, whole new movie.
They told the real story of Mulan in that, from what I understand.
And it's-
I started to watch it and I got really bored.
They got rid of Mushu. I'm like, why?
Well, because they were telling the real story. Mulan
No,
was
did you hear
real.
what they said?
I don't know.
So from what I remember, Disney came out and said that they took out Mushu because they wanted to like be respectful to the Chinese like way of life, and they felt like having this character in there was kind of mocking. But I'm like, but
don't think so.
that character added so much to the original, and now that he's gone, it was. And then they took out a lot of the good songs that everyone likes. I didn't like the fact that they added this witch lady, you know, who turns out to be like a double agent who helps Mulan kill the guy. And it's like, what the fuck is going on?
No clue. This sounds like an interesting movie that I should have stayed watching.
The best Mulan.
haven't seen it
the
either.
best
It's-
Mulan
it's
you can
not.
find.
Hey guys, I really like the Jungle Book that Jon Favreau did, but you know,
That's because Jon Favreau's
yeah,
perfection.
Jon Favreau is
But the best Mulan you can find on Funimation. I think it's called Mulan,
Oh god.
and it's in actual Japanese. It's beautiful.
It's
My Mulan is still-
Or
is-
Mandarin, maybe. It's in
I was
Mandarin.
going to say
Sorry.
she was Chinese.
Funimation, a lot of it's Japanese.
Yeah.
But she is. I think it is in Mandarin, so it's in Mandarin. It's a beautiful Mulan. The effects are not phenomenal because it's more low budget compared to things like what Disney would put out. But 10 out of 10.
But it's a live action.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
phenomenal. And you can find
Gotta
it
check that out.
on
I just-
Funimation.
I do have a Funimation,
But definitely-
subscription.
Jungle Cruise was like it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm not paying $30 for it right
Yeah,
now.
I mean, I'll be
I'm
real with
waiting
you.
for Disney to put that on Disney
I'll be
Plus
real-
for free in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'll be real with you. The $30, well spent. I didn't feel like I wasted $30 because sometimes
I
you'll
know,
watch.
I believe you.
Yeah, you'll watch a movie, you'll spend $30. You're like, fuck, I just wasted money.
Yeah.
That one, I actually felt like I got my full $30 out of because, like, have you ever been to Disney?
No.
Has everybody been to Disney? You know the Jungle Cruise ride that's based off of? It felt like you were almost there, and it was like, this is sick. All the like dry humor jokes, the funny like, let me show you like my favorite plants. That one doesn't tell you what they are, just says that's my favorite plant. Like it was those kind of like dry humor, sarcastic jokes throughout the whole movie,
that's good.
and I was like, this is and it fits The Rock.
The commercials didn't feel dry humor to me. It felt like they were pandering literally to like this like
6-7-year-olds,
Yeah.
parents with 6 or 7
Yeah.
year olds.
Okay, well, let's be honest
Yeah.
though. It's
that's
Disney.
what the trailer looked
That's
like.
what it's meant for. Disney.
Yeah.
That's one of the
Yeah,
problems.
yeah.
Like we don't realize as we're getting older. I'm about to be 30 next year.
I'm not shitting on what they were trying to accomplish. I'm
Yeah.
just saying I'm surprised that you're saying dry humor. 'cause
Josh
that's
is
not
like
what
53.
Yeah, so it's like he looks 70, but
Yeah.
but no, it's like all
look
those movies
good,
aren't
really.
like made for our age. They're made for the younger age. But the fact that I was able to sit down and watch Jungle Cruise and actually thoroughly enjoy it, that says a lot to me about the movie. And I'm like,
I just couldn't get behind it because Disney was like, man, what movie should be next? And they're like, oh, just throw a dart at this Disney World map and we'll just pick whatever it lands on and we'll make
hey,
that
it
a movie.
worked out with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Plus, like, the Matterhorn should have been made before Jungle Cruise, I'm just going to say.
I'm still waiting for Everest.
But it's just, what's
Do you know what we're talking about or no?
I've
No,
never
hang
been
on,
to
hang on.
Disney World. I'm just,
Yeah.
Give me like a testing.
Testing.
Keep going.
Testes.
Okay. There we go. Wait, no, I was right. Okay, never mind.
What's up?
He muted you.
Jake is really loud,
Oh.
Well,
and you're kind of quiet.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just turning you down.
I can't hear myself.
It's okay. It's okay.
I can't hear how I'm supposed to.
I
be
turned
sounding.
you up.
do you want to switch headsets and then you can,
What? No.
ASMR.
No. Nope. Stop it. I will make you leave. I don't like that at all. Shit. I'm gonna get a lot. I'm gonna get like 20. 20 people are gonna send me ASMR
Just
shit.
wait till you're scrolling through TikTok now. All you're going to get is ASMR live streams. That's all I've gotten the past like month.
I hate it.
Every
It's the
live stream
worst.
is either Pokemon or an ASMR. And I'm like, well, how did I get in this ASMR group? And it's always the same thing. They're just doing the weirdest noises. I'm like, how is this? What? Anyway, we'll carry on.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. I've got a few things to say.
about Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Oh,
about the trailer.
oh, yeah, we got really tangent.
yeah. So
I feel like I've only watched it once, and that was not enough for this
I watched it
conversation. Here
one
we go.
full time. Yeah,
You want to watch it again?
Oh, I've
could-
definitely
we'll
watched it like
talk
3
about it,
times
yeah.
already.
We can watch it again.
I don't care.
Let's refresh. You want to refresh?
We can refresh on it.
Fade,
you think I
fade to
could-
black. Fade back in.
I'm about to say, do you think I...
Just
I
show
bet
it.
I could show it.
Huh?
I bet I could show it.
People do react to it all the time.
People react videos.
Yeah, I mean, my channel's not monetized. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, if you get a copyright strike, I guess it is what it is.
It's fine. It's whatever. We can always take the video down, replace it, like take that part out, put it back
Yeah.
up, and it's good to get the same amount of views.
Yeah. Anyway, for the love of God,
One.
don't use YouTube's thing where they're like, hey, just let us mute it for you. That takes about 3 weeks.
Oh.
That system is garbo.
Well,
I mean, I don't even have to... All I would have to do is just tag... Like, put the link in the description, and you pretty much get away with that shit.
as we watch this,
Do you think they're gonna have? And I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm gonna let you talk.
All
do
right,
you
Kanye.
think? Do you think they're gonna have the original Peter Parker? Was
Yes.
it Tobey Maguire and then
Yeah.
the other guy?
I do. I don't think they're going to steal the show. I think they're going to steal a scene.
I don't...
I think they're going to have a good 12, 15-minute type of thing where I don't think they're going to dominate a movie, nor do I think that Doctor Strange will dominate. I think Doctor Strange is going to be a huge factor for like 20, 30 minutes.
He's kind of gonna be what pushes him off the cliff to get it rolling, and that's
Yeah.
it.
He's went to him for help.
Which that doesn't make too much sense to me because it's like you're using I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't think it would work because it's like you're using Doctor Strange to get the ball rolling, and how then Doctor Strange like fucks up because of Peter. But then it's like, then why would Doctor Strange just dip? Because it's his problem too.
Maybe he doesn't dip. Maybe Peter dips into another multiverse. We don't even know
Yeah.
that everything we're seeing is happening.
I'm glad you said multiverse. I feel like Marvel
I have a feeling
is gonna go one of two ways.
I've got some weird shit to say about this.
They're gonna make it work, or it's not gonna work.
Well, yeah, that's
That's
was
kind of how
fire.
all
that's
things
kind of
work.
how everything
But no, I'm
works.
saying like
So,
there's no middle ground
One of
here.
two things is gonna happen. It's either gonna work or it won't. Let's
Jake's
go.
always right.
Anyway, look, bro, yeah, 50% chance of rain. Let's get it.
I got some shit to say about this though, as far as predictions. That it's out there, but let's watch this, and then I got some stuff to say.
Ah, shit, I thought I was gonna say it right now.
And we're back. Everybody got a nice potty break. and we watched the Spider-Man trailer to refresh our memories. Mm-hmm. So, Josh, you said you had a pressing theory.
Oh, I've got like 7.
Okay.
God.
Is it
Let's
about
hear
the
'em.
trailer?
You've got
Yeah.
30 minutes. Let's see what you got.
All right, let's start with Doctor Strange.
Okay.
All right. We see him helping Peter,
Right.
even though he's literally warned not to do this type of spell. He acts really weird during it. Mm-hmm. So something's up there. He's got like ulterior motive, I think. Not bad. He's not going to be the bad guy, although they do end up fighting as well. So we've got some misdirection going with Doctor Strange, I think. I think there's a story with Doctor Strange happening that we have no clue of in this trailer.
And
There's
it might
something
connect to
completely
the
separate.
What If storyline.
It could connect to What If, and I think it'll most definitely connect to
Multiverse of
of Madness.
I think
But
that's what he's trying to prevent.
He's
Trying to get the Sinister Six together.
Yeah, in my prediction, he's going to be the Iron Man of the next phase. He's going to be the main guy. Mm-hmm. He's going to be the glue.
I would honestly, I'm going to interrupt. I think that'd be really cool.
I'd
be cool with that.
Well, he's already confirmed for this. We're pretty sure he'll probably be. Wanda's going to be in the Multiverse of Madness.
Let's look at.
And he'll probably be in a few other. I
Yeah.
feel like we've talked about this, but I can't remember what the other ones were. He might be in Quantumania.
Let's even just look at the formula. In the other Spider-Man movies, who was the Avenger that helped Spider-Man?
Iron Man.
And who was the one that started it all, ended it all, was the main focus for the majority of the parts?
Iron Man.
Yep. Now, let's look at the current formula. Next Spider-Man post, sans Tony Stark. Mm-hmm. Who is in the Spider-Man movie?
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. Who knows the multiverse the best and has the abilities to navigate the multiverse?
Doctor Strange.
Who could possibly fight Wanda, who we know is leading into a villain role-ish, at least anti-hero villainish role?
Is Scarlet Witch an anti-hero?
Oh, in the comics.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's a straight up villain
for a long time.
Oh.
She's a villain against the X-Men because she's Magneto's daughter for the longest time. Then there's some stories about that make her not his daughter. But anyway, for the most part, she was his daughter. Her and Quicksilver were the two known children of Magneto for the longest time. Then you get Polaris, and you learn about some others later on. But they're the main two, and they joined Magneto as part of the Brotherhood of Evil that fought against X-Men. They were trying to help mutants. They were out to help people, but mutants only, whereas the X-Men were trying to help humanity and mutants get along. Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty well communicated in the X-Men movies. That's why Magneto and Professor X are always against each other, is because Magneto's they don't care about us, obviously being a Holocaust survivor. He's they don't care about us. They want to eliminate us. We need to band together and be strong together, versus Professor X, who's no, they'll understand. We can show them that we're not what they think that we are. And so that's where you get that. And that's supposed to be reflected in how they grew up, as far as Professor X growing up as a rich British child, safe and protected. Mm-hmm. And you have Magneto, who grows up in a Holocaust, as a Holocaust survivor, grows up being experimented on in a concentration camp.
But yeah, so you have Scarlet Witch as a villain for the longest time, and then she does join the Avengers when she realizes, okay, listen, I only joined the Brotherhood of Mutants to help mutants because humans were fighting against me. Y'all have convinced me, her with Vision and all, she falls in love with Vision. That whole storyline in the comics that they've touched on with the MCU with her and Vision. Mm-hmm. They did it a different route in the MCU. But in the comics, she comes around to realizing, okay, instead of just trying to help mutants, let's help everybody. And that's when she switches over to being a hero.
Yeah, because don't you meet her? When do you meet her? Age of Ultron?
In the movies, Age of Ultron.
In the movies? And because they were fighting her.
No, you meet her in the post-credits of Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But you meet her
yeah.
in Age of Ultron because they're fighting her. So that's where you get her as the villain.
Yep.
That's then switch. Because who's she with? Who's that? Is that Quicksilver?
Yeah, her brother.
That's her twin brother.
And then they make the switch.
Did that solve your voice problem?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
it
just
did.
realized you're the only one directly under the fan. So, and I was like, when I was testing your mic, did I move over there? And
You did.
I did. I moved right here.
It still isn't as clear as I've been before, but yeah, that improved a whole lot.
You got to break that microphone in. It's never been used before. You really got to breathe on it real hard, smack the shit out of it,
Throw it against the wall.
make
All
it
that
call you
works.
daddy.
Yeah.
I was just about to be like, oh yeah, daddy, smack me
My
harder.
point is that the phase we're in right now, Doctor Strange is the guy. He is the next big guy. So he just acted really strange.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that pun, but
Especially looking at how was it Endgame? How he comes off from Endgame. He's completely different now
Exactly.
into this.
He starts as he's following the Iron Man formula. He's the cocky guy that believes that he's better than everybody, blah blah blah, and he's seeing all of this and but not even that. Saving the universe changed him a whole lot too. I mean, fighting Dormammu, that was huge. But like he's woken up, but now he's cocky as shit again at the beginning of this, and he's like, you know, yeah, this guy that's been doing it his entire life is telling me, do not do that. And he's like, wink, I'm going to do it for you,
Yeah.
Peter. He's got an ulterior motive, but he won't be the bad guy here.
But he also changes. Remember when him and Peter first meet? And he's like, his name's Doctor Strange. And Peter's like, oh, we're using our made up names.
Yeah.
It's completely different now. He's like, oh, you can call me whatever you want. And he's like, okay, Steven.
And to add on to that,
That's weird, but I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to add on to the whole him needing Peter part, it in the comics, what?
Nothing. You said we need Peter, and Jake said,
Jesus Christ.
Whatever, dude.
I didn't even think about it until I saw the smoke.
Which is odd because normally you're the first one to. That's what she said me. But in the comics, the Spider-Verse is a real thing, like an interconnected web between all of the Spider-Men and how they're able to. So there's the multiverse, and within the multiverse is a different, like, connected web that connects all the Spider-Men. That's probably why Doctor Strange would need Spider-Man, is because of the fact that he can sense that of everyone, with the exception of Wanda, who he doesn't fucking know where she is right now, the most connected person would be Peter
I
Parker.
love that you said this so much because I was going to make a prediction about the ulterior motive. I think you're right. I think he sees that in this timeline, Peter is just Peter. But I think he knows something that's going on because of He Who Remains. I think Doctor Strange already predicts all this and is trying to get ahead of the game. I think he already knows that in other multiverses, the crisscross is already happening. The Spider-Verse is already messed up, just not to this Peter Parker. And he thinks that this is a way in, that he can get ahead of the game or whatever. So he's trying to help, but he's going to screw it worse. I feel like Peter's going to end up in the other multiverse in a way, and they're not going to show all that because that would lead to us like predicting this and that, and they don't want us to get disappointed with the predictions. I feel like we're going to meet Miles Morales. I feel like this is opening up a can of worms, a delicious can of worms.
Delicious.
What if, okay, hold on. Hear me out.
Hold it now.
And we can get back on Doctor Strange if you'd like, but I've got a weird thing here. What
You said
if,
you had 7 theories. So
Yeah,
like,
so we're just hanging out
Mephisto?
waiting.
Oh,
listening to
Mephisto.
you at this
Definitely
point.
Mephisto.
yes.
Well, I was
I
going to say.
don't think it's Mephisto, but literally that's the Mephisto storyline.
I mean,
Mephisto's the
They
devil.
do show Peter Parker with devil horns, which automatically assumes Mephisto would be there.
I don't think it's Mephisto. However, it's really fucking weird that in WandaVision they hinted Mephisto nonstop and didn't give it to us. And now this is a Mephisto storyline.
I think they're
So
saving him for Multiverse of Madness.
I do too, but hear me out. I don't think that this is Mephisto, so I'm not predicting that this is. But ain't it really weird that we're all stuck thinking that Mephisto's going to pop up at any point now? And now they're showing us a storyline where Doctor Strange is helping Peter do this. Literally, you can go to the comics and almost frame for frame, they're telling our comic story. Except it's not Doctor Strange that does it.
Mephisto's
it's Mephisto.
yeah.
Mephisto's the one that helps because back in Civil War,
I thought it was
not the
Mephisto
movie.
manipulating Doctor Strange. I thought that was the storyline.
No. All right. So in the comics, Civil War happens, and in the comic version of Civil War, that's when Spider-Man has to go on camera, live on TV, and reveal himself as Peter Parker. and everything, just his whole life goes to hell. And he goes and begs Doctor Strange to help him erase everybody's memory that he is Peter Parker because he's been revealed during the Civil War timeline. And Doctor Strange is like, I can't quite do it like that. That's not how it works. And then he goes to Mr. Fantastic. I think it's Mr. Fantastic. He goes to him and he's like, hey, can you help me? Because you know timey-wimey. You can do all this. And he's like, well, I can do this, but it's not going to be what you're looking for. And he keeps going about the whole storyline trying to, like, somebody's got to be able to erase this. My whole life is ruined. And they're like, I can't remember if somebody suggested it or if he figures it out, but the only person that can do it is Mephisto. So he goes to Mephisto. Mephisto does it with it. He's the damn devil. So he does it in a way to benefit himself. Mm-hmm. But he helps Peter by erasing everybody's memory of it. So literally this storyline is from a comic called One More Day where Mephisto does everything that Strange is doing.
I don't know if that's 100% right. Because I'm pretty sure
the
One More Day is when Aunt May dies and Peter Parker goes back to relive time with Aunt May and save her.
But Mephisto's the only one that can do it.
Yeah,
Mephisto
but I don't think it was to hide his identity, was it?
No, I think
it was tied.
It was because
it was tied.
The only reason
Aunt
Aunt May dies is because his identity. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. It's all tied together. You're remembering some correct stuff, but my part's not wrong. Like
okay.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say you're wrong. I was just like, I don't know if that's 100% correct. I said I don't know if that's 100% correct.
What would explain all the snow? Because I thought that was weird.
I have no idea. I've got theories, but I don't know.
The snow threw me off when he opened the door and it's just full of snow. It's like,
I think it's a gag. I don't think it's a gag. I don't think it's significant.
I think it's because it's been abandoned.
I think it's a red herring in the.
They all got dusted
in the thing. Well,
nobody's been there. Nobody's been looking.
But there'd be snow. That would be dust, not snow. This is like actively.
No. Remember all the portals? If you open one up, if there was a portal left open to a snowy place, then the whole place would have ended up freezing up.
Okay, yeah.
There's also the fact that
I don't know that's right. I'm just saying
crashed through the ceiling of that same sanctuary.
That sanctuary was left in ruins.
They fixed the you see they fixed the stairs. But maybe the hole in the roof was never fixed.
I feel like wizards that'd be like if I came back and be like, fuck, we didn't fix that.
Yeah, that's not normal weather.
Just fix it.
But also, you see outside, it's like a sunny, clear day.
That's what I was going to say.
So if there was still a hole in the roof.
It's not the weather.
Yeah.
Because we see outside and everything's always sunny and no snow.
No, my biggest thing, too, is like, look at this chronologically. What is this coming after that just wrapped up? Loki.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you think we're going to be getting from Loki into this? Or do you think anything's going to come over from Loki into...
Very little. I think Doctor Strange knows something's going on, and that's it. I think that's literally the only connection. I don't think we're going to open.
Do you think Doctor Strange knows about Kang and everything because of his
details or?
Well, remember when he went looking to find the outcome to beat Thanos? Do you think he could have stumbled upon?
Probably.
Oh, I've been talking about this for a long time. I think Doctor Strange and Tony Stark both know about Kang.
How?
I think Tony found out because in Infinity War and Endgame, with the whole timey-wimey shit, Tony ends up going with Cap to go back to get more Pym particles. And you see Cap, and you know how like Marvel does everything on purpose? If they do a zoomed in close-up of something, then it's going to mean something. Even if it's 10 movies later, it's going to mean something. They filmed it in a way where when Cap finds where the Pym particles are, Tony told him to go get 2.
He said to grab all of them, I think.
Okay, well, I don't remember. Maybe that's what it is. But anyway, they zoom in on the hand and show Cap grabs 4 of them, and then they use 2. So
because they only needed 2 to go back to the present timeline.
Yeah,
and they even press the fact that they only need this. Like we need these to do this and this. Like
and
they
at some
press
point,
the
Tony
fact,
says, "Trust me." Right before it happened, because we rewatched this recently because we had a deep conversation about this.
Yep. And so think about how stupid Ant-Man is, and. When he was in the multiverse, he literally passed by the city of Kang. You see it. They don't talk about it. It's never been mentioned. But as he's passing through the quantum realm, you see a city englobed with a tall tower and things all around it. And in the comics, that's literally what Chronopolis.
Yeah, that's Kang's place,
yeah, that's his place. And I think what we're going to end up figuring out is he who remains from the Loki one defeated a Kang that was strong enough to beat him, but the way that he beat him somehow was like trapping him into the quantum realm because he was the big badass that you don't want to fuck with. And when he was dying or knew that he was about to give the choice to die or whatever at the end of Loki, he tells them, he's like, you can kill me, but you don't want to meet the other ones. Because, like, it took forever. Like, he's been around for 1,000,000 lifetimes, he said. And it took that long to defeat some of the other ones. I think the big bad is the one that he found a way to defeat and is stuck in the quantum realm. And Tony went through the quantum realm and did some shit that we don't know about, because when he came back, he wasn't the same person.
Yeah.
You see a slow progression of Tony through the MCU where he went from the cockiest of the cockiest motherfucker. And then he became humbled slightly, but surely, you know, but it was mainly towards Pepper, towards Happy, eventually towards Peter. Like, he warmed up to people and learned that he needs to be more than just this playboy and
Right.
you know, yeah. So, like, he's changing the whole way through. But even in Endgame, when he's trapped in outer space, he comes back rattled. But then he changes again in that movie. After the time stuff, he comes back, he's a different person. And they don't explain why, but we did see that Cap grabbed extra vials, gave it to Iron Man. I think Iron Man knows about Tony because he literally warns them
Knows
afterwards.
about
He was
Kang.
like,
Kang.
Yeah.
what did I say?
Tony.
Iron Man knows about Tony.
I would hope so.
Tony knows about King, and the only theory I have behind that is there's extra PIM particles. He was traveling through the quantum realm. He comes out different,
And
and
they
when he
even say
comes
when he
out,
comes
he
out.
tells them. He looks at him. He's like, "Listen, we're messing with time, and this is going to screw a lot of things up.
Yeah.
I've seen how bad it gets, but we've got to deal with what's in front of us." So he warned them. He's like, "We've got to stop Thanos right now." He's like, "But we've messed up, and y'all need to be ready for it." So, like, he gave a
When
warning.
does he say that? What is he? I mean, I know that's not verbatim.
Yeah,
but
no, it's not verbatim at all. I played it for you, but it's been a few months ago.
I could probably debunk your theory now.
Go for it.
Yeah.
He grabs 4 PIM particles. The 2 extra ones are to send Cap back later on to fix things.
That wasn't the plan. And
Oh, we
Cap-
already talked about this.
yeah,
Well,
that doesn't
so
add
what?
up.
What I was gonna say, regardless of that, fuck. What was I gonna say?
And it's gone.
It slipped my mind.
Whatever it
You were
was,
talking about Tony coming back.
they could have, at the end, there's endless PIM particles. They could have went and got more PIM particles. Like, that could have
what I was
all
gonna say
happened.
is, I think later the reason I was like,
They got used
damn. The reason is I think they mentioned how there was only one chance at this because they like when they come back, they mention in the group that we only have one chance at this. We don't have any extras, so if we fuck up now, we fuck up. So, and I think that's mentioned after they all come back getting the stones, because it was when they were trying to figure out who was gonna wield the gauntlet. I'm pretty sure they make a comment, so that would make sense because if Tony still had them, he'd be like, "Oh no, I got 2 right here."
Anyway,
So yours could support yours.
I think Tony knew about it with him traveling through the quantum realm. I think Strange knows about it because of his looking at
All the different outcomes.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why Doctor Strange is acting weird.
So that could
'Cause
mean his one outcome led to the Loki situation, then Loki fighting Kang, and Strange knows all of it.
Yep.
And that's why he's using
And
Peter.
he knew that we had to go this route because what else? What other?
There was no
choice
other
is
way.
But now he has to handle this, and he knows it ahead of time.
He knows
He's
how-
like, I don't know the details exactly, but I know how this is going to play out.
Beating
so we gotta
Thanos
change
brought
something.
us Kang.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
he's trying to gather some. I think he's trying to gather big bads and lock them up
He's obviously fighting
because that's where we see
Peter.
Lizard. So based on the new Rockstars video I watched, so we think Peter is in that box at some point. Like we think it's some sort of prison type thing, and you see Lizard jump at him and hit some sort of force field type of thing, and the theory is that it's just he's trying to gather up like the Sinister Six baddies so that they can't hinder them any more than they're already going to be hindered.
And who's
in
the 6
multiverse.
right now? I know we got 5 confirmed.
Electro, Lizard, Green Goblin,
Doc Ock,
Doc Ock,
Vulture.
Vulture. They have Scorpion already established, but they're not. It's not in this movie. But I'm just saying, Vulture and
Yeah.
Scorpion are already
We
established.
got more than
characters.
6 that we've seen, but in this movie,
Sandman.
Is Jamie Foxx playing
Yeah.
'Cause he's
That's already
coming
been
back.
confirmed.
Well,
Yeah.
he confirmed it on his Instagram and then almost immediately pulled it off and was like, nope, never mind.
Whoops.
Which means,
yeah.
Whoopsie.
And
He
then
wasn't
did
supposed to post that.
Just recently, he came back and said, he was like, that version of Electro's not coming back. And I didn't know that the last time we talked, even though it had already happened. I didn't know that yet. And when I saw the yellow lightning this time, I was like, yes, what we're saying is true. Electro is back, but it's not blue lightning, which already confirms that they're changing him. So we're going to get a different, hopefully
It's a
better
different
version.
Jamie Foxx.
Because Jamie Foxx is a great actor, but that sucked. Mm-hmm. That Electro was trash.
This is gonna be the same Electro, but better. Hopefully.
I think it's going to have a similar suit to the Electro in the Spider-Man game,
okay.
I hope so.
because the Vulture suit in the Spider-Man game is very reminiscent of the Vulture suit from Spider-Man Homecoming.
Because as much as me and you would love to see the yellow lightning in
Yeah,
a
that's
way,
not gonna happen.
it
Yeah,
is-
that's never going to happen.
We're beyond that with
Although,
comic book movies. He might have like some goggles or something that have like an homage, like yellow thing over his head or something.
Or there's nothing there, but when
Or
he's
there's
full
nothing.
power, maybe we see yellow sparks
From his
that
eyes.
gives a-
Yeah. That'd be good.
Like they could give an homage to the
Yeah.
classic, but they're
But-
not going to give us the classic
No.
straight up.
And
They
I
should.
don't-
They'll
want
probably
them
give you a throwback like they did in Loki. Remember, they gave us the OG.
Oh, yeah.
the OG Loki. So I was like, that's kind of
Which
cool.
I love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I collect action figures, I want the OG look or the best look that looks like it's from a comic. I don't collect like the movie version of something. I like the comic look. I don't want it to look too much like a real human being. I want it to look like it was pulled out of a comic book page. But in a movie, I want it to look like it's supposed to be
I like
movie.
it when they give you those little nods, like back to the OG, like in Ragnarok when Thor's fighting Hulk. And
So
he pulls
good.
the hammer down and it gives you the wings.
So good.
I mean, not hammer,
Yeah.
but the helmet down
Yeah,
and it gives you
yeah,
the
yeah.
wings. It's like, ah.
It's perfect. Yeah.
And that's all you needed because it's not like he's not like putting on the actual helmet with the wings. It's like this is like a little nod, like hey,
Yeah.
I've talked to Bryton about this before. Like, I'm glad that Vulture didn't have feathers. He had a mech suit.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Falcon doesn't have red feathers. He has a mech suit.
He doesn't have a
But-
telepathic bird. He has a drone.
Exactly. Like, those things just make real life sense. But we're also in a world of fantasy where, like, Spider-Man can lift a building. So if a teenage boy can lift a building, we're in a fantasy world here. So I don't want to see, we brought this up last time, Rhino. I don't want to see Paul Giamatti in a mech suit. That's just
I want to see
cheap.
Paul Giamatti like Juggernaut in Deadpool
Yes,
2.
exactly. He needs to be a big,
Because that
over-the-top,
Juggernaut was way
muscular
better.
guy.
That was another reference I'd made earlier when I was talking about, because the Rhino from the Spider-Man game is fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It looks mech techy.
But he still looks
But
like a
he's still-
huge
He's still
guy.
a big
Yep.
dude. He's not just
Yeah.
a
That's the right
smaller
way
dude.
to change it. Because why have Rhino
Leather,
rawhide
yeah.
on you?
Yeah, that's
like
dumb.
that makes no fucking sense.
That's-
It's cool in the comics, but why?
They should put the original Rhino comic book character in there and just texturize it so it looks real.
Oh God.
Just
So-
a potato with a horn.
I don't mind when they advance it for real life. Like nobody needs to be a 600 looking pound dude of muscle and wearing a rhino hide.
Half the
But
should play.
but it also doesn't. Need
That's
to
why.
be a
That's why I
nerdy-
liked Bane in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that better than just some like juiced up dude that like didn't make sense.
Because
Well-
in that universe, nobody would have looked juiced up like that. In the MCU, you could actually pull it off through storytelling because they do that.
Yep.
So
Like Croc and all them.
the example would be that in The Dark Knight Rises, they just gave a buff-looking dude that is taking in some type of what is he breathing? Some chemical that's making him.
We'll just call it
he doesn't feel
steroids.
pain.
Oh, I
Take it
thought he
easy.
was.
Yeah.
I thought
He's
that was
jacked
just
up.
helping him breathe because his
No,
mouth
he
was
doesn't
fucked up
feel
or something.
pain because of it.
Oh.
Like he's like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
It's almost like a steroid.
It's basically like Vader's suit.
It's toxin. It's a type of chemical that he pumps into his body to basically.
That's
and
in the
that's why
comics. Yeah, I
in
didn't
the
know if they ever
comics,
said that.
In the comics, that's one of the reasons why I kind of don't like the Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, because they allude to this fact. But the whole point is like the reason he takes it is it's because it's like a jacked form of steroids where it.
I wish he was
makes
bigger.
him. It makes him a little bit more ripped than the regular human being. He normally has like literal like hoses running
Yeah.
down his
Yeah.
body.
I wish they went
so
closer.
It avoids. It basically makes him an unstoppable, unmovable truck.
Yeah.
Because that's why when he fights like Batman and stuff, he gets the shit beat out of him, and he's still like, nope, don't feel a fucking thing.
But
Because
it wouldn't have fit Christopher Nolan's storyline
Yeah.
if they had went all the way. I wish they went halfway. I wish
Yeah.
they would have made.
Tom
there's-
Hardy did a
he's
good
just-
job.
There's
getting-
only
Yes.
so many
Yeah.
steroids Tom Hardy can
Yeah.
take.
Exactly.
to get as big as he did.
He got
I'm glad
he
they
got
kept-
jacked. He looked good, and he kind of fit the part where it's like
Yeah.
you see someone that muscular, it's taking something. You know he's going to be able to dish out some
Didn't they
punches.
have
But
to
if
like
somebody
redo
was-
some of his lines because
They had to redo all of his.
They had to
lines.
redo all of
Like,
it.
nobody can remember.
I remember the first time when I saw the movie and hear him on the plane. He's like,
You saw one of the original releases.
yeah, and I was like,
yeah,
what the
you
fuck
couldn't
is he
hear it.
saying?
Within days, they had it replaced.
Yeah.
Like, they
Really?
were quick on
Do
it.
you not remember that? I went and saw
When the
opening
movie-
night.
you
Opening
couldn't-
night, he's on the plane. He's like,
You didn't understand anything being said.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it until it was like
Yeah.
on a
They had to
DVD.
replace it.
dude, you're literally just. I remember I was sitting there in the movie theater like, the fuck is he saying?
You couldn't understand anything.
About halfway through the movie, you started catching. I guess because you're used to hearing him
You
talk.
acclimated.
But that whole opening scene when he's on the plane, where it's like perhaps he's wondering why he would shoot a man before throwing him off a plane. All you hear is, which
again,
Which Christopher Nolan was sitting around and was like, yeah, this sounds good.
Yeah, so-
Which blows
remember-
my mind because he's a phenomenal filmmaker.
that's what I was
But
saying.
they
Remember,
sat through that.
somebody approved that. Just
Everybody
remember
approved
that.
but
It
that's
sounds
also
good, guys. You
that's
think they can
also
understand?
accurate.
Yeah, they can understand. Are you sure? He's like, yeah.
that's also super accurate though because that's how it was.
That's how it was in the comic
in the-
books. You couldn't hear
yeah,
anything.
But you're reading it.
You couldn't hear him at all in the comic books, man.
You couldn't hear-
shit. You had to read.
Once
But
you get
dude,
to
it was so
once you get
bad,
to
though.
animated series, like the history of Bane through like animated series as well, he's always that like really like high pitched, like hard to hear.
He tried to be accurate, and he went too far.
Oh, but it was so
all I'm
wonderful. I loved it. I thought it was a phenomenal,
You
horrible
never heard
thing.
the original.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, dude, the original was.
I love the
Tell
original.
Bryton what he's
you
he's
can't-
seen.
We've
If
had
you
the
can-
conversation, and I thought he told me that he had.
No,
I thought I had the conversation with you. and
I'm
you
just
didn't.
saying,
No.
if you can look up the original
Yeah.
audio from that, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck?
Somebody made YouTube comparisons where it's like scene by scene.
You're
We
literally
hear
gonna
both.
question everyone's decision. Like it's like when you see a movie like my favorite's like Lord of the Rings when they have like a mess up. It's when Aemir in Two Towers, Aemir gets on his horse, and when the camera is literally saying this is like where his belt is holding the sword, camera's right here, and his sword falls out, and they're just like, "We're good, done."
That was the take, guys. All right, cool.
You're like, but my sword's on the ground. Nope, we're good. Good shot. But the sword, they won't see it. We'll clear it in post. I think it's fine. But send it.
A good breakdown of what the different universes do. Christopher Nolan made it fit into a real world scenario, and he pulled it off perfectly. Even though The Dark Knight Rises is up and down, in my opinion, The Dark Knight is a perfect movie. The Dark Knight Rises ups and downs, but
Yeah.
it was still good overall. It's just like when you follow that up, you're gonna see
Anytime you're following up a movie
Yeah.
that was so good,
perfect.
It's
It's perfect. But so they didn't make it perfect the next time, but it was a good movie, and Bane was well done. If Bane existed in the MCU, I believe that he would have been really jacked up, and they would have convinced you that it was completely fine to pull it off comic book accurate.
It's Asgardian technology.
They would have done something, yeah.
Yeah.
Or an Infinity Stone gave energy to this, and somebody made a chemical based off from a stone, and then it got injected into him. And now he
Speaking of
needs,
stones, remember Loki? All the stones.
yeah,
Hey, they use them for
It'd
it'd probably
paperweights.
be end up a variation of the super soldier serum that instead of
Yes,
that you have to
that's
constantly
exactly.
take
Yep.
versus.
Yep.
Oh, did you see everybody?
I like how we're
complaining?
talking about this as if it was. We're like, but what if Bane was in the
it's fun.
MCU?
We
It's
should
fun,
be
though.
hired. That's the gist of this. We
what
should
What I'm
be
hearing
hired
is
during
Marvel
all
just
this.
needs to buy DC, and then
whoa,
Will
whoa, whoa,
Wright.
let's
Disney,
calm
for-
down.
Disney's
been-
gonna buy Warner Brothers.
it's
Is
been
what's
talked.
actually gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, it's
Probably.
been
Yeah.
talked. Yeah.
And I would love
because
it.
oh shit, like real crossovers could happen then.
No,
Well,
Disney-
because there's
it
been
probably
DC
wouldn't-
Marvel
I
crossovers.
doubt they would ever combine it. Say
That would be-
I
one
think they would
day.
do
If it's up to
crossovers
Disney,
like
they
the
will.
original What
But I'm
Ifs.
saying, like,
Disney
I feel
will
like
buy
it-
you.
Yeah.
if it's cheap
Please
enough.
do. Please do. Here we go. But no, I think like if Disney were to like legit buy Warner Brothers out and then have their own little like DC under them, I think they would still keep it separate.
Man, I want Disney. I think Disney's a horrible monopoly at this point. But also, I want Disney to buy Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and fucking
hear me out. I
DC.
think-
Because
Fire.
literally, if Disney wasn't doing everything so right, I would be so mad
Exactly.
at Disney because
I
they
hate
do everything
monopolies
perfect.
like this, but there's just
I'm a-
giving
hey.
us straight fire.
But
I'm
like,
saying,
could you
I'm
imagine a Harry
excited.
Potter series? Like 3 or 4 new
Give
Harry
it to
Potter
me.
series, 3 or 4 new Lord of the Rings
Give it
series.
to me.
Just hey, hear me out though.
me a
Disney
new Quantum
Disney
Leap.
had their chance at Harry Potter.
Give me Quantum Leap. It needs to be redone. We can have another show about it, but I'm just saying. Quantum
Yeah,
Leap,
Quantum Leap
I
should
got
definitely
theories
be
in my
redone.
head. I've already written stories in my head. Quantum Leap needs to continue.
Just be a writer for Quantum Leap now.
No, okay. Amazon, I'm excited to see what they do with Lord of the Rings. Since we brought that
Me
up.
too.
Oh, do
They
have
dropped. They
Yeah,
dropped.
no, it's-
No,
they've been working on
they
it for like
dropped
3 years already.
230
It's coming up soon.
million just on copyright. To
Just on
own,
copyright?
to own
Yeah.
the name Lord of the Rings, they dropped 230 million. It's already been approved for 5 seasons.
Which means that's
Chump
how
change for
confident-
Mr. Bezos.
That's very right. They have money to waste, but they wouldn't do this if they weren't confident in
Yeah.
themselves. Now they could completely botch it, but they're really confident.
Yeah, from what
They've
I've
been
heard,
building it up for 3 years.
Yeah.
yeah, from
They
what
were
I've heard, they're
building-
trying
How
to.
have I not heard of this?
I don't know, but,
I don't know. You're probably stupid.
Yeah. do you do anything on the internet?
I mean, then again, some fucking nerds.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
apparently, they're trying to outdo Game of Thrones. They want to do like Game of Thrones got
And
to
you
the point.
could.
Well, no,
Yeah.
Game of Thrones
They
got to
have
the
the
point. What was
ability.
it? 1 million or 1 or 3 million an episode. They want to be above and beyond that, and they're going through. Was it Silmarillion?
Yep.
I think it's going through the Silmarillion.
Yep.
It's following. I think it's following
Right.
Aragorn at a young age.
It's following Sauron at a young age.
Is it Sauron? Or I thought
Yes,
it was Aragorn.
it's like years before.
No,
It
Aragorn
follows-
wouldn't have been born.
No, it was way before his birth.
Aragorn's a human.
It follows the creation of the rings, basically.
Human.
So it follows Sauron.
Remember, he's 86 in
And-
The Return of the King.
Yeah. But isn't this supposed to be like 1,000 or multiple
Yeah,
thousands
it's
of
following
years?
Sauron and his lover, even though it never says that the guy he's with is his lover. It's very hinted at.
Yeah.
Fun thing that you would be interested in. I don't know. Don Marshall on TikTok, huge Lord of the Rings dude. He goes really in depth about this type of stuff, and he talks about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But
I'm so excited. I tried to get on it, but I don't know anybody doing any casting, so it didn't work out.
but man,
I'm a big guy with a beard and long hair. Let me on your show.
but yeah, it's
No one
supposed
knows
to
anyone. Of course, y'all don't.
You could probably get picked up as a background
Extra.
actor in
I
anything.
would love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We tried to get on like Game of Thrones and Vikings, but in order
you could be an extra in anything.
You know what the problem is with
That
being
just
an extra?
sounds so mean.
No,
It's just like
here
you
we
could
go.
be an extra in anything, dude.
I had more to say.
Never
No.
a main character, but an extra.
Do you know what the
always.
problem is?
I had more to say.
You know the
but
problem is being an extra or background?
You don't get paid much.
No, 9 times out of 10, they're filming out of country.
Yeah.
You only get a visa or anything if you're like a speaking part.
Are they doing this in New Zealand? Do we know?
Probably.
Oh, I would assume.
Why would you do it
so.
anywhere else?
If
You
it's not-
already have all the sets down there.
Yeah. If it's Hobbit based, because didn't they?
It's pre-Hobbit as well, but it would
Exactly.
probably use the same
I mean, I'm pretty sure that.
scenery. Because
Where else would you film it?
after they leave the lands of
Iceland.
Nah, I stay New Zealand. I mean, I would get parts in Iceland.
If it follows
Because
Sauron.
if it follows Sauron,
Iceland.
it's after they leave the land
Isn't
of
he
the dead.
second
Though.
age? Isn't he second age? Is that second age? Sauron? When he's still the elf? What's his elf's name?
Yeah, it might be Sauron.
In case you guys didn't know, Jake is a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and it's what we watch when we go on these trips we go on. It is
I'm
on
trying to be
repeat.
Have you read the
Bigger.
Silmarillion?
It is
I have
on,
not
repeat,
read the
on
Silmarillion.
repeat
God,
on
it's a
his
fucking
phone.
slog.
I'm in that middling stage where I know way more than the average Lord of the Rings fan, but not as much as the.
Yeah.
I'm in that.
I'm going back and rereading the books and all that here soon, and dude, it's so good.
I don't know.
Look
I
at
don't know
this tree.
shit.
Let's
know what's-
describe it
I
for the next
struggle.
10 pages.
Dude, you know what's crazy that a lot of people don't know though? You know how Aragorn has this whole story where he's the Strider, doesn't want to be king,
Yeah.
all this. That's all fucking movie shit. In the books, he's already got whatever I forgot what they call it. Underwill, is that the right name for it? Is that a movie name? Isildur's Bane, the sword.
Oh.
he already has it. He's already like in cahoots with Boromir. Like everything's already there. They're just like, oh, we'll change it up. Let's give it a little Hollywood pizzazz.
This is off
Dude.
subject.
Oh, okay.
No.
Good.
No,
I was
go
about
ahead.
something. Have you seen that at the Battle of the Black Gate, Aragorn was supposed to fight Sauron?
Really?
They had it set
Like in Peter Jackson's.
in Peter Jackson's trilogy, they had an idea. They're like, all right, we get to the Black Gate when Frodo's trying to do it, and they draw him out, that Sauron was going to like physically form at the Black Gate, and that's who Aragorn fights. But after they filmed it, because you can find pictures of Aragorn fighting Sauron right there, bang. Or, yeah, Sauron. They realized they're like, this doesn't work, because how would all of a sudden Sauron be able to take a physical form when he doesn't have the ring? So they go back and
They literally told the story of how he could.
well,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
CG the troll over Sauron because they
Gotcha.
already had it filmed.
that.
So the fight between Aragorn and the troll was
That's
originally
cool.
filmed as Aragorn versus Sauron, and there's a scene where you can see either Sauron's sword or one of his spikes when he's fighting Aragorn, and it's sick. And I was like, dude, that'd been cool, but at the same time, I'm like, I get it, that wouldn't have worked. But that's my little like random knowledge.
I don't know shit about Lord of the Rings.
Shout out TikTok.
I was just telling him earlier. I asked him if he'd ever seen the 1977 cartoon version of like The Hobbit.
The Hobbit, it's cool.
It's so good for what they set out to do. Man, they nailed it.
Yeah, they really that was really
It's
good. It was well done. I've seen it.
They skip 90% of the story to tell it, obviously, but they really, really go in depth about the 10% that they cover, and they pull it off so well that.
How long is that one? It's not very long.
No, oh boy,
what is it? 19.
It's only like a season, isn't it?
1977?
1977. It's only like a season?
No, it's not a show. It's a movie.
Oh, it's a movie?
But is it 2 movies or 1?
I got it right here.
Didn't they do 2 movies?
It's 2 movies
Hobbit
then.
and Lord of the Rings.
Okay, can we
One
just talk
Hobbit
about how the 70s were some of the best years for movies?
Especially
animated.
yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Look what all came out. So you got The Hobbit in 77. You also had Star Wars started in 77.
Yeah.
What was it? Show me something. What was it? Terminator started? Was that in the 70s?
No.
No, that was 80s.
80s.
What else came out in 77? Something else came out in the 70s.
Halloween.
There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah, this came out. First broadcast was on NBC for The Hobbit. I'm trying to look for the running time.
I was going to turn to Shelby and be like, me and Shelby should just have a horror movie conversation.
Excuse.
I feel like me and Shelby could talk for hours.
Would you believe it if I told you that a animated movie from 1977 had a $3 million budget?
That's a lot.
That's a lot of fucking money.
For one of the best-selling books ever at that time. So
and animation.
if they had
78 minutes runtime.
And you have a lot. That's a
65-minute movie.
a lot of animators. Like, that's a lot of fucking animators because it's. I'm imagining it's a very detailed movie.
Wait,
Go back
pause.
and-
Pause. Hold on.
Go into
You
that.
just said 78-minute runtime. You said 78-minute runtime.
Take
it's
out-
a 65-minute movie.
No, take out. I'm taking out the intro and then the ending credits. I'm taking all that out. So I'm putting it like 65 to 68.
I was like, whoa.
If you weren't
That's
fully
gonna
paying
breeze by
attention,
that?
Back then, the credits were a lot faster.
Yeah.
But so probably 70-ish or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that's a you.
Back then, the credits
took a
were fast,
lot.
but the intro took 4 minutes.
It took a lot
Yeah.
to do quality animation back then too. Not that it doesn't take a lot
Took a while
now.
to do animation. Period. Back then.
It was
But-
like 24 frames drawn out
Yeah.
by hand. Like
But there's so many computer systems to help that's why we have such better animation now. Then, like, of course you spent $3 million on a film. Jesus fucking Christ, when you have a team of like 30 people working every goddamn day for 4
I wonder
years.
if that translate into inflation. If you take account inflation from 1977 to right now.
Yeah,
40,
probably in the
million.
40 to 50
Which
million
actually,
range.
now that you're saying that, doesn't sound like a lot for an
Being
animated
that
movie.
most
I think it's
well, it's
Well,
still
most
high,
movies-
but
What was Moana's budget? Like,
Oh.
Okay, you can't. Moana, okay. Moana's
But
different.
that's what I'm saying. That's a normal animated movie these days.
See, I instantly started singing too. Moana.
Whatever. Nobody's listening to this.
and back when none of these things had been animated yet, Lord of the Rings was The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings was like heralded as like one of the greatest books of all time. It had never been done.
I can tell you, Moana made $248 million.
So Tangled in 2010 was a $226 million project, like a production budget.
Wow.
Which basically, if you're saying that this movie
That's
that
high as camel cock.
what?
do you know camels can swim?
Well, Tangled
Why
also.
shouldn't they?
I'm just saying.
Almost every mammal can swim. We're like the only ones that have to learn.
We're like the only fucking ones.
We're stupid as shit as babies.
Somebody was like,
That's
"Yo,
what I
did you?"
say all the time. So many people are like,
We are invalids.
that baby's able to walk. And I'm like, yes, so is a fawn after like 10 seconds. Like,
Shit
get
gets up.
real, motherfucker. Like,
It stands up instantly, like,
and
"Hey,
then
here we go."
Amber's like, why are you so cynical? I was like, I'm just saying, as far as nature wise, we as humans fucking suck.
Yeah.
I'm never going to look at a baby and be like, God, that baby's so wonderful. Look at it standing and walking around after several months.
We
Like,
have a-
bitch, it
yeah.
takes a fawn 10 minutes to fully get on 4 legs and gallop the fuck away.
We have a 9-month.
How frightening would it be if a newborn baby came out and was just like, ugh. All right, here we go.
Pip walks,
strolling
Pip
out
walks
of
out of the
If
room.
it happened right now, that would be
hold-
weird
hold
as
on.
shit.
Hold
But
on,
that's
it
how
gets
nature's
yanked.
supposed
It's
to
just like,
be.
oh, fuck.
We've got a 9-month gestation period, and it's supposed to, like, the way that we are at what two and a half years old. That's how a baby's supposed to come out.
That's like a fish
according
being
to
born and
nature.
not being able to swim for about a year and a half.
we
like,
know- like,
what
just-
the fuck?
We literally know through evolution and like studying patterns why that is. Our brains got so big for how we're going to develop that we couldn't pass through a pelvis, and women's pelvises didn't evolve fast enough. So we are coming out after 9 months, which is a long gestation period, but it's to build a brain that can't come out of a pelvis. So women today still die at a high rate during pregnancy, and we've had to like going through labor is such an expensive process at a hospital because you're saving a woman's life almost every time. Whereas in nature, it's like, I just pop this little baby out real quick. Oh, there's some grass. I'm gonna go eat that grass. Hey, are you standing up yet? Are you standing up? Follow me.
Come eat
Follow
this grass.
Me.
Come here.
Hey, hold on. Let me chew off this umbilical cord real quick.
I just had an idea. Hang on.
Never
And then-
trust. Never
and then
trust
20
a
minutes
fart.
later, the mom's
It's
gone.
so much different in nature. I got a fart. Oh my god! It's a.
Clip this. All right, whenever Josh is on, I'm going to do this. So clip this sound.
Okay.
It's time for Science with Josh. That way I can just like boop, hit that before, like if he starts to do something, like hold on.
the one thing I love more than Marvel is science.
Hey, anyway, real quick, back to Moana. It had a budget of 150 to 175 million, and it did 645 million in box office.
But
Jesus Christ.
but still, if you're looking at 170 million for one of the most popular films at this time, and then you go back and Hobbit at a time when Hobbit was skyrocketing in sales and there was a need for this kind of movie, 40 million's not that fucking bad. Well, 3 million is not that fucking bad. I'm pretty sure if we looked at other movies cost in the 70s, we would probably see around the same amount.
Yeah, it just
I'm
seemed like
doing
a
it.
lot for animation.
I'm just saying.
And I was assuming 3 million in the 70s was a lot more than 40 million now.
Well, Star Wars: A New Hope had 11 million budget.
Yeah,
I
and you
believe
see
that.
the fucking no. See how fucking terrible that one now.
Hey, whoa, calm down. That shit was pretty decent, okay?
It was amazing because of the inventiveness, but like, there's a lot wrong. With
Yeah.
Star Wars. If you're gonna look at it in that kind of terms, they messed up a lot.
Yeah, like noises
But-
in space.
Explosions in space, everything in space, everything was wrong about Star Wars. But
Imagine worrying about gas in space, because, inertia's not a thing. That's in the Last Jedi, remember? The whole plot of the movie is, oh my God, we're about to run out of gas. You're in space.
I was picturing like a gas cloud. I was
just
like, what the
continue
fuck are
at the
you
same
talking-
speed,
Just keep
with no
going.
Honestly,
But sorry,
at
that
this
destroys
point,
the entire plot of the movie, sorry.
I'm about to say at this point, just fucking cut the gas off and just save enough to land. Other than
Yeah.
that, you could just keep traveling in this distance.
Once you're going 10,000 miles per hour, cut it off. You'll continue at 10,000 miles per hour.
Unless you're in Star Wars, where you'll start to slow down.
Like, fuck, even if you were on a planet traveling 10...
You hear the engines.
Runs out of gas and starts falling. Like, what are you falling towards? Is there a sun nearby?
How do you know you're falling in the right direction? You're just, what are you doing?
That's some,
There is no direction.
that's some Spaceballs kind of bullshit right there.
Space.
They're gaining on us. We're running out of gas. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to keep gaining on you. It's crazy. Inertia.
So
That was a fun little tangent we
Yeah.
had just there. It was great.
This has been 2 hours of tangents.
This is
I love
great.
it.
no, not
Good
quite.
times.
Well, if
Hour.
you
We're
count-
really only at an hour because
If
we
you
took
count
like a
the
15
30 minutes we
break.
tangented before this.
So did we talk?
We never
about,
finished the Spider-Man
Yeah, I
trailer
was- I was
shit. I
coming-
know.
We talked about
I'm coming
one
back.
tangent.
So did we talk about whether or not the other two Spider-Men are going to play a big role in this movie?
I think they're going to have a bigger role than what we're giving them credit for.
I think-
really think.
I think they're going to have a
I think it's
small
going to be
medium role.
B-roll footage from the two films. I don't think they're going to be in it.
I disagree only because people will be so let down. And they've already said, like, when they were planning for
So
this.
what? Fucking stupid ass motherfuckers don't need to get their fucking asses hyped up for this shit.
As soon as everybody started getting hyped up, they were like, shit. All right, call Toby and Andrew. We're going to get them on. God damn it.
Did you know
Write
Andrew
the fucking
Garfield?
checks.
Hey, did you know Andrew Garfield's in his 30s?
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he be?
I don't know. I thought he was like way younger than that.
He's been an actor.
Well, so that's like how
like-
time and age works.
Anyway, I just saw ages of people.
Do you
and
know
I was
he's in his
like, holy
30s?
shit.
He's like 20.
He's been acting for like
Call back
15
to
years.
the. Okay.
Just imagine being in your 30s able to play a high school student.
I guess he has.
Well, he wasn't in it. Oh, yeah. Yes, he wasn't in his
He's been
30s.
acting for like
But
a good decade.
I
right?
honestly,
Decade,
so
yeah.
like
Yeah.
for movie wise, I think they're going to play a bigger role than what people are going to give them credit for, because I think it's going to pull everything together, especially with the multiverse coming out. You've got the success from the Spider-Verse.
Why get the villains if you
Yeah,
don't get,
why get the villains if you don't get the OGs? Like
Exactly.
you already you're bringing back the same guy who played Doc Ock. You're bringing back the same guy who played the Goblin.
And
what?
let's just remember financially what they saw as this. Before COVID happened, which all this was planned and started before COVID. So even though they're finishing it during the pandemic and they're scared as shit right now about what they're going to make in the theaters, they're scared to death about what they're going to make because they don't know if people are going to show up again, especially with like the new
Delta virus.
I think
yeah,
I think they're. I
They'll,
think there's
they'll
gonna
have
be-
it. They'll have it on Disney though.
no.
I think
They're
they
done.
They won't have it on
One
Disney
of the
Plus.
one of the reasons they held off on doing a trailer is because they couldn't put a date on it. They're like, we want this by Christmas. We really want this by Christmas. We need this by Christmas. And they're like, we're scared to death of saying that we're going to have it by Christmas because once you start pushing a movie, everybody gets in their head, oh, they need to rework this. They need to rework that, which is bullshit these days. But we've been ingrained for decades in thinking that if a movie gets pushed off, there's something wrong.
There's something
They're
wrong.
having to rework it. Now we're living in a fucking pandemic and people aren't paying attention to that. If somebody delays something, they still say, "Oh man, they're probably screwing this one up."
It's also
actually-
better. It's also better to give you a date and then not ever have to change it, because then when you start changing it, you start adding
it's
confusion.
way better.
Yeah,
way better. But
Now everyone's like, "Shit, is it coming out this Friday or is
I
it
feel
next
like,
Friday?"
I feel like
I
it
don't remember.
but I do feel like it should be forgivable in a 100-year pandemic.
Yeah.
and people aren't. People aren't forgiving of it.
Yeah.
Every time Venom changed their date, people talk shit. WandaVision changed their date, everybody talks shit. Every time somebody changes a date, they're like, oh, I bet they fucked up this. They're having to change that. Oh, man, cancel culture. They're having to reshoot this. Oh, this person may be doing that, so let's get somebody new for this little role. Let's cut him out. Like, all these theories start every time something's
But
pushed.
you also have to realize I think the average citizen doesn't understand the amount of work and stuff that goes into making a movie.
They do not.
Like, I mean, I think the four of us here have a good understanding because I think all of us have done stuff in film.
We deep dive into it.
So it's like we
I did it in
understand.
college. You've been extras
Yeah.
and you've played some. What was the movie you were
We
in?
haven't filmed it yet because they're still like they're having issues because of COVID.
Gotcha.
But it's still one of those things
Yeah.
where it's like so like that. There's a good example for you. They're having issues filming just because COVID.
You filmed for National Geographic.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we've
Bryton
all,
edits my podcast.
yeah. But we've
I've
all
had
like,
other interests in film. I feel like you just
Your studies.
yeah.
I mean,
I had a lot of I studied a lot in film as well. So
yeah. So I mean, so like I don't think the average citizen has the amount of knowledge that is sitting at this table when it comes to movies. So of course, when someone's like, "Oh, we got to push the date back a month," it's like, "Oh hell, they must have somebody fucked
Yeah.
up."
Which was true pre-pandemic. Almost every time something
I mean,
got pushed.
It still is true.
Good movies never got pushed
post-pandemic.
back then.
But I mean, I think it's still a thing because I mean, you never know what happens. I mean, they could be in post filming and they're like, "Oh shit, we didn't get this shot." Because that happened with I don't think they pushed it back, but I'm pretty sure that happened with what was the Wolverine movie? Logan.
Yeah.
You know the fight scene at the gas station where Logan gets out, beats the shit.
opening scene?
The opening scene.
Okay.
They had to reshoot that
Why?
because the director just wanted to reshoot it.
Okay.
Because one of my buddies actually is a guy that got punched in the face by Logan, and he said they filmed it. They just did it two separate areas, but they completely like redid the set same way. So they shot once in Texas and once in I think California, but it's the exact same set.
Right.
They were just like the director just wanted to reshoot it.
Yeah. I
Some of
mean,
the stuff like
you
there's
feel
stuff
it
like
or you
that.
don't.
Yeah.
but like if you're sitting
get
there in
attached to it,
post
it's your
production,
baby.
you're watching it and you're like, man, that's just not how I envisioned it. Let's just we'll
Yeah.
reshoot it, we'll re-add it, like, because fuck yeah, if you're spending again, most of these are spending $300 to $500 million. You're gonna
Especially
make
if you're
sure,
Marvel,
you're gonna make sure that it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there and you're like, God damn it, that scene's just not what I wanted. That
Yeah.
led. Then you're gonna go and pull everybody and be like, hey guys, we're gonna have like
refilming.
another week or two of filming.
At Stumpy's, we'll look at a $3,000 project, and I'm like, hey, Bryton, I know you got them to do it this way. I feel like it's going to be a big weekend. We need to do this. This is for a $3,000 project. And I'll like tweak it and be like, hey, we worked for 3 hours on this, but we'll make more money than what we lost if we do it this way. Let's whatever. And I mean,
Yeah.
And they're talking about a project. Let's look at Spider-Man, for example. Pre-COVID, you know how companies have fans don't normally see this. It goes back to what you say. Like, we look at a lot of these things. Most fans don't ever look at projections. Disney and the people that or Sony and the people that put together Spider-Man saw this as a $2 billion project. Hey, young Jamie, what did they spend? What did they spend on? What did they spend on No Way Home? While he's looking that up, they projected this was a $2 billion release. That's pre-COVID, because all of this was pre-planned. So this is a movie that they predict is going to pull $2 billion at the box office and rental, like before it's
right.
So $2 billion. You think that they're going to give us all these little leaks or whatever aren't real? If they're going to give us the villains, you don't think for a $2 billion project that they themselves, the creators, said this is Peter Parker's endgame? They described this movie pre-COVID as we're throwing everything at you. We're giving you the ultimate Spider-Man movie. They told us that 2 years ago. You don't think they're gonna give us I don't think these leaks came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The leaks, the same people that said that Toby and Andrew were in this movie were the people that told us that Jamie Foxx was in it. They're the ones that told us. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Everything
This
else
is
has
gonna
been true.
180 million, by the way.
180 million to make $2 billion.
Yeah.
That's profit.
Yeah.
That is profit.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Science
That's
with
profit.
Josh.
Science with Josh.
What's
with
crazy I learned
Josh.
too, you know, I didn't realize that
Change it to arithmetic.
oh my god.
Arithmetic with Josh.
Basic math lessons.
I didn't
with
realize
Joshua.
budgets came from investors. I didn't know that. I thought it was just money that Disney would have up. They'd be like, all right, we're going to spend X amount of money on this. This comes from investors, and I found that from another movie.
I could believe that because I mean,
it was
Disney
like-
will have a shit ton of
Yeah.
multi-million-dollar projects going on at a time, and I mean they're Disney, but that's a lot of money.
I forgot what movie it was, but they literally went to like some like rich ranch owner or whatever. Like, hey man, we got this movie. We want to see what kind of money you can help us invest in. This
It
is
was
what we're
Bush.
thinking. And it was like, so I was like, damn, that's where budgets come from. I was like, that's kind of sick. I mean, that's also kind of obvious. And I was like, well, shit. But yeah, but I really think they're gonna have everybody. It's gonna be one of those things, and I
But
think
I
it's gonna
don't
be
think-
bigger than what you expect. I think it's gonna
I do.
I think,
But I don't think they'll cheat Tom Holland.
No,
Tom
no.
Holland is going to come
Tom
across
Holland-
in this whole movie as Spider-Man.
Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Tom
Yeah.
Holland is our Spider-Man right now. You know, there's a reason they got rid of
I'm
Andrew
not
Garfield. There's a
predicting
reason
that Toby or Andrew will steal the show. I think they'll steal a scene. That's all I'm predicting.
I'm still going to play devil's advocate and say that it's just going to be clips from their movies.
I think you're
okay,
gonna-
Bad
I
mistake.
think you're
Last
gonna
time,
get-
let us listen to Kyle
Because we'll never figure it out
I've
later.
listened to the last podcast and I didn't let you say shit.
It's okay. I enjoy listening, which is
the
why
host.
I
He's
just
the
sit
host.
here.
Fine.
I literally texted Josh when I made the reel of us cutting you off saying, you know who was it? You know who was it? I sent it to him and I said, do you want to
I
hear?
texted Kyle afterwards. I was like, "What did you want to say?" He was like, "I don't remember." I was like,
I have
"Just
no
tell
idea.
me."
I was
Just
like,
tell me.
I texted him. I was like, "Do you want to see us bulldoze the conversation over Kyle?" And he's like,
when I get into
"He's
this,
like, what
I lose
happened?"
it.
It's okay.
Hey, you want to know the best
I
part?
deep dive.
Y'all still aren't letting him talk.
No, it's all right.
I'm trying to take a moment.
No, look. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's my podcast. You guys are doing all the work right now. Like, we're good. Yeah. No.
I'm gonna take that clip and that's gonna be the thumbnail for the whole video. It's just Josh's face.
Okay, Kyle had his moment. Here we go.
Do you think?
Oh, wait, he's
do
still
you
going.
think they're gonna do like maybe they'll do something like
Thank
they
you,
did with
Kyle.
Miles Morales? No, you know what I'm saying? Into the Spider-Verse.
Like, you mean have Miles Morales show up?
no,
Oh,
I mean like
Yeah.
maybe.
I do.
I think we
so.
would get
But
a
I'm
Miles.
I think we're
thinking-
getting a small amount of miles.
I'm thinking we're gonna get old Toby. I think we might get an older Spider-Man
yeah.
to help coach Peter here
I can
because
see
he
that.
knows these villains.
I can see Miles
And,
Morales
and
in the,
Andrew Garfield
means-
knows Electro.
that means one of two things.
and
Either,
Lizard, 'cause
What if
it's
they're
the
like
Lizard
coaches?
From,
What if they're
it'd
like-
be
yeah,
the Lizard
yeah.
from Amazing.
What if they're like coaches?
well, that means that either Doc Ock fell into a river and in his mind came right out of it and doesn't recognize Tobey Maguire has aged 20 years and
No.
just treats him as normal, or he fell into something, has been in a multiverse, knows about this because he is a mad scientist. Like, if they use a storyline where he didn't fall out and come out, he's been somewhere
But isn't
for the
that
last
what he
20
said?
years.
Hang on real quick, hang
Hasn't
on
that
real quick.
actor come out and said that it was literally like this is
Yes.
takes place literally after our
yes,
death?
Yeah.
yes.
And
But
he's also the only one. That
boy,
would
if you'll
give
let me
any-
talk.
You just said you were okay with that.
No,
We're doing all the work.
Carrying the load.
I'm trying to get this thought out before I lose it.
Do it.
So you're saying that because of the way that Doc Ock is coming in, that we're likely not to see old Toby necessarily.
Right.
Right. Okay. But
That's one version.
But Doc Ock and Green Goblin died at different times, but they're both coming back at this one moment. So it's
Obviously,
easy
they didn't
leap.
die.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is it's an easy leap to saying we're pulling Toby from a different point in time.
Absolutely. I'm saying one of two things. If Doc Ock falls and is somehow brought in his mind immediately back because he's been de-aged.
Right.
So if he hasn't lived 20 years somewhere learning about the multiverse, then he wouldn't come out and see an old fucking Tobey Maguire and is like, oh, hello, Peter.
Wait, what if
That is an important
I get
thing.
what you're saying. I don't know.
He knows
If
who
they
Peter
do-
is.
Yes.
And he would not know who Tom Holland's
know who
Peter
Tom
is.
Holland is.
So that
but
tells you right then
it can
and
be
there.
a misdirect where
No.
if he sees somebody in a Spider-Man costume and he doesn't see a face, he could assume it's Peter.
But it's a different outfit too at the same time. And if you're
Correct.
going to give Doc Ock the credit of being a mad scientist, that means he's intelligent.
Exactly.
If he sees the wrong skin, he's not
However-
going to say that's Peter.
I agree with all this, but this is Sony, not the MCU, so they make
Yeah.
mistakes. We've seen them make
But I feel like
mistakes.
well, I feel like with the push with Marvel behind them, because isn't Marvel something's trying to go on with Sony with them trying to get Spider-Man.
Oh, I've got a theory on this.
But
one.
so I'm saying is like with that harking down, Sony's probably going to do the right thing, and I really think it's going to be if you got a DH Doc Ock, you're going to have a DH Toby. Where I'm saying they're going to go in CG
I
and,
agree.
and you're going to see a Toby from what we saw
I
in
agree.
Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3.
I really hope the de-aging isn't garbage.
2002.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we've already seen who I would think. I know you said earlier Willem Dafoe would be the hardest one. I don't think so because Willem Dafoe at 21 looked like he was 71. So
That's what,
Willem
well,
Dafoe
yeah,
has
okay.
always
Yeah.
looked
Yeah.
old.
Hey,
He's
hear me
been
out. They're
wrinkled
really good
forever.
at aging as well, though. Because remember, what was the general dude in A New Hope? Not A New Hope. Sorry, it was the general from A New Hope, but they had him in Rogue One.
Yeah, well, that was just that was a deep fake or that was full CG, wasn't he?
That was full
Yeah, he was
CG,
full CG.
but it looked
'Cause he's
really good.
dead, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
dead.
he passed
but
away,
he was like 103
But-
in the original movie. So yeah,
You can't use Marvel, you can't use Disney Productions to do this because it's not a Disney Productions,
Exactly.
it's a Sony production.
But if we know Sony, they've got good money in their shit because I mean,
Sony doesn't
all
really
right,
support-
Sony boy.
Sony
No,
doesn't.
what I'm saying
Sony
is,
100%
Pictures
agree.
compared to Sony are
One-
two
one person at a
completely
time.
different things.
It's gonna get muddy.
yeah. But what I'm saying is like with Sony having their name on it and they're having the push with Spider-Man and like I think Disney's trying to acquire Spider-Man back from Sony. Sony's probably trying to keep Spider-Man.
Well, no, yeah, I hope.
One-
Yeah,
So with that being said, they're gonna do what they can and they're gonna go all out
Oh,
on this.
Disney's gonna buy Sony in the next few years. I'm almost
think they- I don't
guaranteed.
think they will.
I think they'll
Disney's
buy
gonna
Sony
buy the
Pictures.
U.S.
for them
government
to
in the next
probably
few years.
if they haven't already.
Sony, I mean,
I think they're gonna
Sony
acquire
has
Sony
no-
Pictures.
Sony has no reason to sell it to Disney under the deal that we currently know about. And Disney has no reason to need it under the current or under the current thing except to do whatever they want with Spider-Man. But they have a deal in place that allows them to use Peter Parker in limited things, which gets to another theory that could happen.
This is number 3.
What if
You think about this shit a lot.
He really does.
Yeah, this is
Is this what you do at work?
Didn't I say this
Yeah,
last
this is
time?
what we talk about at work
during
constantly.
slow times. Like
love it.
Friday and Saturdays, I am 100% Stumpy's mode. But on Wednesdays, I got a little downtime.
I'm chilling.
And why wouldn't we think like
We just watched the latest episode. Let's go.
like me and Josh will literally just meet at once we get to work. We'll just sit there. Like if we're slow,
And I'm 100% working. You can ask
Yeah.
Bryton. I will sit there and like scan to make sure clamps hadn't popped loose, boards hadn't been broken, safety procedures aren't being broken. But there's no people coming in.
You know
so
we don't work at Stumpy's, right? Like we're not going to tell on you.
I don't give a
You
shit.
don't have to.
but like this
That's-
is
I'm
100%
recording all this
true.
Well, Jake is sitting right here, so Trish is watching.
You are not wrong.
I
Hi,
love you,
Trish.
Yeah, we both love you.
I don't know
And
who you are.
I don't
but
even have to lie to say that.
I love
a
you
good
too,
point.
Trish.
Miss you.
She calls
don't-
me her southern son.
I don't know who you are, but we're friends on Facebook. Hello.
Trish is awesome.
She really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so we do talk about this a lot. But I think about this. This is my downtime. If I'm driving, I'm thinking about these theories. Like that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I love it so much. Science and science fiction.
Oh yeah.
That's how I like. I used to have anxiety and shit. I don't if I just keep my brain going on these things. True. So this is what I do.
All right, what's your theory?
All right. Do you remember after the second Spider-Man movie, there was a whole...
Are you talking about Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire?
Yeah,
Or okay,
yeah. So from this one, since the last one, right after the last one, there was that whole debacle where the MCU lost Spider-Man. Do y'all remember that? It was a huge deal, and then people forgot about it because they said, "Oh, we worked it out. It's fine." We never heard the details. We only were told that they worked out a new negotiation for how Spider-Man could be used, and that it was going to be limited use. So the MCU made a deal with Sony. There was an amount of money that passed over, but they actually lost some of the contractual use of Spider-Man. If, and this is a huge if, because obviously you'd rather stick with Peter Parker. But with the way that the negotiation was, if Disney really wanted to just go rampant and make Spider-Man shit however they wanted to, all they had to do is drop Tom Holland. So hear me out. We're in a phase of multiverse. What if we find out and meet Miles Morales in some small point here? And what if Peter Parker goes elsewhere? And what if the MCU continues on from this point forward with Miles Morales or any other version, and they can do whatever they want to due to the negotiation process that they just had a few years ago?
But why would Miles Morales not be covered under Sony Pictures?
The rumor is, I don't know. The rumor is that they said, listen, we've got a gold mine with Tom Holland, with Peter Parker, blah, blah, blah. And Disney kept pushing about how, but we need to do this, we need to do that. And the rumor is that they made a negotiation where they're like, you're right, you found Tom Holland, this is your Peter Parker. But with how that they worked out the deal, we still have rights to Spider-Man. We just can't take your Spider-Man and twist and turn and do different things. So
basically what you're saying, Disney can run with Miles Morales. They can't run with Peter Parker.
With a lot more that is the rumor. I don't know that it's true because we never heard, but the rumors that came out is that
I still think I'm a bit confused about it, but we could.
With Disney was probably like, "Hey, we really want Spider-Man." Sony's like, "No, you can't have it." And they're like, "Well, is there any way we can work around it?" And Sony's like, "Well, you're not taking Peter Parker." So, and then that's when Disney's coming back saying, "What about Miles Morales?"
Yeah. So what we knew is that years ago, MCU, Disney, and Sony made a deal to be able to use Peter Parker as long as Sony approves and Disney pays for it.
Yep.
And then over here, Sony is allowed to make their own movies. They have to pay for it completely, but Disney has to approve the usage of it. If Disney uses Peter Parker, Tom Holland, they have to pay a cut, even in-game. Sony gets a cut of all those movies, and Sony put no money into it.
Right.
So Disney is losing money, profit from that. They're not losing money, but, they're losing profit from it. Another deal was made, and we never found out what the deal was. But the rumor that came out of it was that Disney paid money to say, all right, we can do shit with Spider-Man, and you have no control of it. But you've got this whole Tom Holland, Peter Parker connection, and we can't screw up what you want to do with that, but we're going to give you this sum of money.
And everything
and it opens
else.
Up
okay. All right. So I think I'm on the picture now.
Disney
it's not confirmed.
It's not confirmed, but
that is the rumor.
It's more of like, we're not buying Spider-Man.
And they never shot down the rumor.
Yeah.
We're not buying Spider-Man. We're basically saying that we should get to do everything we want with Spider-Man properties.
Yep.
But you have Tom Holland, so we will pay you to use Tom Holland.
Yep. And they still have to continue to pay Sony for Tom Holland's Peter Parker.
See, and
but the rumor is that if they go with
that's why I was a little bit
Spider-Ham.
confused, because I was like, Miles Morales would still fall under Sony's property, and so why would it make sense? But if the rumor is that they have control over...
Yeah, I think the rumor
properties.
just comes down to Sony keeps Peter Parker.
Yep.
Disney gets everything else.
Yep.
Which you can still run multiple different Spider-Men.
And obviously the contract wouldn't say anything else. They would have had to pick and choose.
I
bet you MCU picked and chose a few things that are like, we can go with this.
Well, they probably saw what worked well. Well, no, because Spider-Verse came out after all this, so...
I fully fucking doubt that's what it is, though.
You never know.
Because that... Sony can fuck shit up, but... Man, that'd be a fuck up above fuck ups.
Well, right now, as is, it still works out for Disney. And Sony's actually in trouble. It's hard to call a company with that much money set aside in trouble, but they used to have like 10 times the money set aside. So they are, in a way, Sony is struggling-ish.
I think I was saying that I think Disney would buy Sony Pictures.
I don't think
I
they
think
will.
Sony Pictures. I think Sony would be willing to part with some of their properties from Sony Pictures, but it would be hard to be like,
They wouldn't if they're healthy.
yeah, and it'd be
healthy
hard
business.
to get rid of. It'd be hard to get rid of
You're number one.
your number one money.
Yeah.
Like
A healthy company doesn't get rid of number one.
Peter Parker makes a fuck ton of money, and they don't have to put any work in it.
Like I say, pre-COVID, this was a $2 billion project that they foresaw.
I don't see Sony selling because they just started doing the whole thing with the Sony logo before their movies. Have y'all heard what that means?
No.
It's like anytime you see a movie that says Sony, it means the entire movie was shot, edited, recorded, everything on Sony equipment. So I feel like if they put the time to put that in there, because that costs money to throw it in front of the beginning of a movie. I think it's like,
I don't predict that Sony is going out at all.
yeah,
But wasn't there a whole conversation a year ago about Apple buying Sony?
I hope not.
But see, them
There was
There was a small conversation that was being
I thought it was a
had.
merger.
I feel like they,
Behind-
anytime they say there's a conversation, it's like, yeah, it's Apple went to Sony saying, hey, can we buy your company?
Yeah.
And Sony's like, yeah, offer.
There
They're
was,
like,
there was a conversation of Disney
300
buying DC.
yeah, it's like 300 million. Sony, no.
That
Again,
might be the
would love
only
that.
thing to make me switch
that.
to Sony is if I could airdrop photos from my
That'd be fucking
Sony
cool.
camera
That'd be cool.
to my iPhone. Then I would switch to Sony. Sorry, Canon. I'll get this tattoo fixed, I guess.
I gotta say that I
Just
would
a
not.
line drawn through it and Sony tattooed
With
over it.
Sony in like a script in red.
Some tribal bands.
Yeah. No.
I would not hate Miles Morales in the MCU.
No.
no, not at
I
all.
would.
Who would play him?
And actually, Miles Morales
I
could
think we're about to find out December 23rd.
because
I could see
my-
it being Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say it kind of works out too because in Spider-Man: Homecoming, Donald Glover's character says,
Yep.
"Man, I got a nephew in this neighborhood."
Right.
Which means
But guess who probably didn't get dusted? A 11-year-old Miles Morales, who's now about 16 and would be perfect to take up the mantle of Spider-Man
Here you go.
in his own film.
and we already have a phenomenal actor and creator in every sense, basically, from music to directing to writing. He wrote the Deadpool script for the cartoon that ended up getting
Yeah.
scrapped, but I read the script. It was
the man
great.
who should have been Spider-Man to begin with.
The suspense is killing me. What are you talking about?
Donald
Glover.
Oh,
There was
okay.
like a big push
He was in
after
the second
He's
Spider-Man.
too old.
Tobey Maguire.
No,
The
not-
Prowler.
He's the uncle.
The Prowler.
Oh, yeah,
that would
I know
become
that. I
Prowler.
know that.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
thought you were saying he would be Spider-Man.
No.
I was like,
no,
he's,
no,
he's
no.
What I was
definitely too old for
referencing
that.
Glover's already been
back
presented.
back when Tobey Maguire stopped being Spider-Man,
Right.
And a few
There was a
years had
push for
passed.
Donald
there was
Glover.
a huge push for Donald Glover, and so many people were like, Donald Glover for Spider-Man. I won't see Spider-Man unless it's Donald Glover. And then a lot of people were like, he's a black man. I'm not gonna watch it. So there's a huge
Yeah.
difference there. And Donald Glover was like, I am all for this. So he
Yep.
started
Yeah.
sharing all of this stuff, and he's like, please. And somebody so many people would come at him and be like, you can't be Spider-Man. He I bet you I fucking can be.
And then what did we see? Donald Glover popped up.
Yeah.
But he's the uncle of Miles Morales. And we know by the comics that the uncle of Miles Morales
And
is
Into
Prowler.
the Spider-Verse
Right.
helped
And
let
the-
a lot
and the
of
Spider-Man
non-comic
game.
people know.
Yeah, but I mean, they had already established it. That movie came out first, right? The
Yes.
second
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
The first one.
The one with the Prowler in it.
The
came
one with the
out.
Prowler in it was the first one. With Anthony his name is Anthony Davis?
Aaron Davis.
Aaron Davis.
Aaron Davis, yeah.
The one with Aaron Davis, Childish Gambino, Donald Glover was the first Spider-Man movie that came
Okay.
out before.
That was the second.
The second one came out after Endgame. So,
So here's a
because
question for
technically
you.
the second one happens after WandaVision.
Is it Miles Morales going to be in the movie or post credits?
That's a good question.
Either way, he's in the movie.
Yeah, but what do you
I
think it is?
I think Mephisto's in the post credits. I think he's the big bad.
Stop pulling on my heartstrings.
No,
What if-
I think he's the big
I
bad.
think
I think they're
Wanda's
going to
in
do
the
that.
post-credits.
They're going to do that like Thanos.
I think they'd have Wanda.
Could Mephisto pretend to be Strange?
Mephisto.
Mephisto, whatever.
Mephisto.
Mephisto.
Mephisto. Sorry,
Mephisto. Okay, Mephisto.
You got me saying it wrong.
Could he pretend to be strange?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
He
that's why
100% has those abilities.
Strange is acting weird.
I think there's
gotta be a
people like
deeper-
me that have read the comics. I think they're just fucking with me.
Yeah.
Because they also fucked with me in
WandaVision.
WandaVision.
I
They
didn't
put
watch- I
you
didn't
over a
watch
table and
WandaVision.
fucked you hard in the
WandaVision is
ass.
phenomenal.
I didn't
They-
watch it.
But
Oh, it's great.
That's what I've heard. So
It's-
I need to watch it then.
one,
Okay.
if you've you'll watch it, you'll never see it. But if you've read the comics with Mephisto, and
Mephisto
you watch,
is all over that thing.
Yeah.
it's all over, and then it never happens. And
So
it's like,
so
what
it's
the
kinda like-
hell?
Which is why
So
I think he's
spoiler.
in this.
Me
I
too.
think he's in this
Well,
because
so-
they were
so-
hinting
I don't think he
so
is.
hard.
I think he's in Doctor Strange.
I
I think there will
agree.
be more hints
That's-
to it.
that's why
but
I'm saying-
Doctor Strange
I think
Multiverse
they-
of Madness.
I think they're
because
pulling on my dick. They're pulling on my dick, and they're saying Mephisto.
put a
that-
little,
say that-
just
say that-
kidding.
putting a little finger in your asshole, tickling you.
Oh.
I need you to cut all of these. Like just and
Are they
please.
tongue punching your fart box?
Anyway, that's why I'm saying he'll be in the end credits. I think he is the big bad for Multiverse of Madness, but I think they're gonna put him in the end of this.
Jake
So
had
you're-
mentioned
to
something.
show
Wait,
that he's
so
the one in
you're-
control.
And sorry to cut you off, but you're saying they're completely cutting out Kang then? Because remember, Kang's
No.
got to be in here
No,
somewhere.
no.
I think
they're
he'll
not.
pop up as one of
he just said-
Mephisto's minions.
Well, yeah, well, he said the bad guy in Multiverse of Madness is going to be Mephisto.
I think
I said that.
Kang is
but
our new
Kang's
Loki.
in Quantum Mania. Kang was
Yeah.
confirmed for Quantum Mania.
What's
Okay.
Quantum Mania? Who's that?
That's
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
That's gonna be
Ant-Man,
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
No, that's perfect.
That's perfect.
Yeah, don't roll your eyes, Jake. Quantumania is perfect because we've already seen his goddamn palace.
True.
We've seen his palace. And I won't go on a rant here, but I think Multiverse of Madness is the perfect place for Mephisto to be a villain because they wrote and leaked. The director himself leaked it. The guy that was in charge of a board of writers, he sat over the writers. He came out and said, this was like a year and a half ago. He came out and was like, for the next Doctor Strange, the bad guy is Nightmare. And Nightmare is an equivalent of Mephisto
Can we quick
in the comics.
Can we quick explain real quick?
1 second. Yes, I want you to. Real quick.
Just not yet.
No, just to finish my
I'm
thought.
talking.
Finish
Hold
my
your breath.
thought so that you can just go on
Hold your breath.
just so you can go on a rant. Nightmare is almost the equivalent of a Mephisto. Mephisto is like the devil of Marvel, but there's a group that almost fill the whole role because this isn't Christianity that we're talking about. This is a different, realm of folklore and everything. Where
And in certain countries, you can't show the
China?
devil on live TV.
China,
i.e.
you
China.
can't, and
so,
China's-
or in movies and television.
China's the second biggest moneymaker Marvel, and you can't have a devil.
Yeah.
So they decided
I actually knew that.
we can't do Mephisto, but we can do Nightmare. And they wrote the entire script for Doctor Strange, a Multiverse of Madness, for Nightmare to be the bad guy. We already know that. And then they scrapped it, hired a new director, new writers. And all they would tell us, and to this day all we've heard, is that we're sticking pretty close, but we've changed some drastic things, but it's still going to have the same feel. Like, we're sticking to the feel of the movie, but it's going to be a lot of changes. That tells us nothing other than we knew that it was going to be Nightmare, blah, 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 which then you can look at the comics and say, okay, Nightmare did this, Doctor Strange fought Nightmare this way, blah, blah, blah. If you look at the same comics where Doctor Strange and others fought Mephisto, it's the same feel. So it kind of fits what they said of, like, we've changed some stuff, but it's the same feel. Like, it could be the same thing. So I'm not saying Mephisto is the bad guy of Multiverse of Madness, but it would fit perfectly if they change things up. So we either know that they stuck with the main big bad and it's Nightmare, or it's Mephisto. And we've got no other hardly any other hints about Nightmare, but we've got a shit ton about Mephisto. So I feel like that's the change. Bryton hit it.
And so, Mephisto, Nightmare, Null, there's all of these dark entities. In the Marvel Universe, they all exist from this entity that's older than pretty much the universe. And so it's a dark force that if anybody believes in something strong enough, it becomes an existence of evil. So Mephisto, because of things like Christianity, Mephisto exists because so many people believe in the devil that Mephisto just popped out of this dark entity. That's where you get something like Nightmare, because so many people believe in fear that Nightmare just popped out. There's about 10 different fucking people that all have popped. Well, 10 might be exaggerating. It might be 6 or 7.
I've never heard the
remember-
word exaggerant used before.
Exaggerate.
I've never heard that. It might be exaggerant.
Jettison.
Jettison.
Wow.
Can my exaggerant be in the intro? But it might be. I got really distracted by Josh for a second there, but I might be exaggerating here, but it's probably about, I think it's 6 or 7 or 9. I don't remember the number because it constantly fluctuates.
Number doesn't matter. Keep going.
But it's a dark. They're all part of this dark entity where they get pretty much their fuel from.
Okay.
So none of them actually exist in a way. Like, it's hard to explain because they exist, but they're all born from this darkness because a group of people believed it to be true. Like in Warhammer 40K.
Like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
They exist.
Makes sense. I get it.
They exist 100% once you know that they exist.
Yeah.
They don't exist and have no control until then.
Like in Warhammer 40K,
Oh,
if
what?
all,
Isn't that like the
all the orcs
Babadook?
believe that red.
Yeah.
That's how it was. Yeah, it's like the Babadook. You don't know it's there
That's
until
what
it's there.
The panel of demon, devil type of things that he's talking about, they have control of you once you know they're real. If you avoid ever knowing about them, they cannot touch you.
Or Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger's also a
Yeah,
good.
that's a good one.
Freddy Krueger's probably the perfect one. Is
Yep.
it's just if
Pop
you don't know
culture
about
watch, yeah,
him,
it's perfect.
if you don't know about him, you're unaffected by him. But
Right.
if you learn about him and you think about him, it gives him the power to exist.
Mephisto, Nightmare, all of them have so much strength, but only if you know about them.
But
Nice,
in the
okay.
comics, Mephisto,
they're
Nightmare,
from
all
another
of these
dimension.
entities are so similar that you can pretty much lump them all into one type of character. So that's what the whole theory has been, is that in like places like China, you cannot show the devil on TV or movies.
So you got to find a way around it.
So you got to
That's
find a
what
way
I'm
around it. So Nightmare and Mephisto would be a really good combination.
And
I hope
it still is.
I hope they make 2 CG characters and use Mephisto for ours and Nightmare for the other ones. Because if
And that-
they're interchangeable,
That
that'll
is-
work.
That is possible.
Haven't they done that before?
Probably. I don't know.
But
I hear
I
in
was-
China,
Nightmare-
Bane still sounds like he's talking into a cup.
But I will say, I know that earlier you had mentioned that you wondered if Loki would have any effect on the Spider-Man movie. And I wanted to touch on that just real quickly and say that I don't believe it will, only because the Spider-Man movie originally released before Loki came out.
Correct.
But because of COVID, everything got pushed back. But see, the TV shows were easier to work in because they were the shows that were coming around it or after it were unaffected by
We
it.
also know that they've
Interesting.
done small things, so there is a way to make it a small impact.
Yeah.
But there's no way for it to have a huge impact.
Interesting.
They can't. They would have had to refilm pretty much the whole movie, but they can have a small connection.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks for hanging in. You guys want to plug your stuff real quick? Josh?
Marvelous.
I am the Marvelous Josh on Instagram. _Marvelous_Josh.
I just shoved the mic in my mouth. I'm Bryton_T_Abrams
I went to
on
so many wrong places.
Instagram. Oh gosh.
I just shoved that microphone in my mouth.
Shove it
Oh,
in your mouth. Wait, don't be
Jake.
ashamed.
bro, this isn't an ASMR Twitch stream. Okay, what's up?
Jake?
Yeah, hey,
Plug your stuff.
Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch. Jake the Viking.
All the links will be in the descriptions of wherever you're listening or watching this. Later.